I will move heaven and earth to take you down in this divorce if this is the you decide to play. You have 1 hour to deposit that money, or I swear to God, Vince, I'm calling the cops and telling them how unsafe I feel around you and how mentally and emotionally you've been and how you pushed me up against the wall in the bathroom my last day in that house, and I had to tell you to get off me 3 times. Do you want to be arrested in front of your kids, Vince? Because I can make that happen. Watch me.
Damn.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Imagine thinking you can blow up your marriage, get into an argument with your husband, and run into the open, loving arms of a felon, your new boyfriend, and exposing your children to that lifestyle. Imagine thinking that everything's just gonna go on like it always has, and life isn't going to change. In this episode, this entitled Lying Mom finally experiences the consequences of her bad decisions. Shout out to Family Court Chaos. The title of this video is entitled Lying Mom Thinks She's Getting Primary Custody After Shacking Up with Felon Boyfriend. Don't waste time. Just get it.
Good morning, Ms. Valdez. Could you please state your full name for the court?
Leah Marie Valdez.
And your husband's full name for the court?
Vincent Russell Valdez.
Ms. Valdez, how many minor children do you have together?
We have 3.
And when did you leave the marital residence?
I left the marital residence, I want to say it was August 5th. I know it's in writing. I'm just cloudy on when that exact date is.
Thank you. Can you tell the court why you left the marital residence?
I left the marital residence for my own safety.
Of course you did.
I was having a discussion with Vincent about how unhappy in the marriage I was. I did not use the word separation or divorce, but I was letting him know just how unhappy I was. And he told me that if I was not going to fight for our marriage, that I had 1 hour to pack and leave. At that point, he left the residence to go pick up pizza for the kids. And he said, and I quote, "You better be gone by the time I get back." I was fearful in my own home. And so for the safety of myself, I packed a bag and I left. I was not too sure when I was going to come back. And so I left that night and came back Sunday and served him with divorce papers.
And where are you residing currently?
I rented a home in Kingston Springs at 318 Maple Street.
Can you tell the court a little bit about what the parenting arrangement has looked like since you left the marital residence?
Mm-hmm. There have been no hard set days. We planned on that, but because of both of our schedules, it fluctuates and varies based off appointments, work, personal activities. So roughly right now, the kids are spending 3 days with me, 4 days with him, or 4 days with me, 3 days with him, depending on how the week varies.
Do you have the capability to do a shared parenting schedule as to 50-50?
Yes, we do. Subject to his work schedule when he travels, because he's a sales rep, and subject to my work schedule if a special event pops up with the businesses that I own.
Yes, ma'am. And since this arrangement, have you had any major issues between both of you regarding the children?
Not that I know of, no.
How much of this can we trust? We're going to find out. So what's happening right now is her attorney is doing the direct examination, right? That's her attorney. They're asking questions. Let's take a quick moment here to thank the sponsor of our channel, FathersHaveRights.com. In our prenup guide of FathersHaveRights.com, one of our expert attorneys explains it clearly. When you get married, your upside might be infinite. A great marriage is a beautiful and wonderful thing, not just for you, but for the family that you plan to build with your future wife. But without a prenup, your downside is also infinite, meaning there is no limit to your losses. That's why you need a prenuptial agreement. And although a prenup cannot protect you from things like custody or child support, what a prenup can do is set clear expectations inside the marriage, which often reduces false expectations and discourages divorce in the first place because both parties know what's at stake. If you're engaged, proposing, or soon to be married, click the link pinned to the top of the comment section and join the hundreds of men securing their future marriages the right way.
And Ms. Valdez, do you have any history of drug abuse whatsoever?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay. And do you currently associate with anybody who is currently using drugs?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay. And during your parenting time, have your minor children ever been harmed?
No, ma'am.
Bear with me 1 second, Your Honor. And Ms. Valdez, can you
She's like, what else are we going to lie about?
tell the court what your gross monthly income looks like?
It varies, but on average, I would say modestly, we're looking at $5,000 to $5,500.
And where does that income come from?
My first business I own is DeValley Commercial Cleaning Service, and that grosses about $2,000 a month. And then the second business that I co-own with my husband is Giggles and Glam Kids Salon. And the profits on that fluctuate month to month, but on average, about $3,500 a month.
Thank you. And what can you tell me about your husband's income?
He is on salary, and so he has a fixed monthly income. And up until 3 to 6 months ago, he was also acquiring bi-yearly, so twice a year bonuses. But I believe that his employer has removed those.
Thank you. And Ms. Valdez, do you think that it is in the best interest of your minor children to maximize their time with both parents?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
And so are you asking the court to adopt the temporary parenting plan we have submitted that shows 50-50?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
All right, Your Honor, I have nothing further as far as the temporary parenting plan goes.
All right. You wish to, are there any other issues that you want to address, or do you want to wait and address any of those issues that Mr. Holly is raising? You also had, I believe, a motion for the extension of the injunction. You want to address that with her now?
Yes, Your Honor, that'd be great. Ms. Valdez, we filed a motion for a ex parte restraining order. To your knowledge, has that restraining order been served on your husband?
Yes, ma'am, it has.
And what did that restraining order tell him to do?
It told him to return the $10,000 that he, to me, unknowingly withdrew from our business account. And I believe that was it, correct?
Has he put the full amount of the funds as ordered by the court back into that account?
No, ma'am. He has returned half, $5,000, but he has yet to return the other $5,000.
So he split it in half, assuming that, hey, they're probably going to make me pay her half. She wants the whole thing back into the account. Well, why did he take money out? Well, because they're going through a divorce and she's with the felon boyfriend. Who knows what the hell they're doing with their money?
And have there been any consequences of him not returning the other $5,000?
Yes, I was not able to pay my employees or my payroll taxes until I was able to secure a $5,000 loan from a family member.
Thank you. And has your husband, you stated earlier your husband was a co-owner of Giggles and Clams with you. What has his extent been in business involvement?
He has come 3 times to the store to bring me iced coffee. He is not involved. He does not know how to run payroll, schedule, order product. He doesn't even know the code to the back door to get into the store. I run that business solely.
That's disrespectful as hell. He's my coffee boy, Your Honor. He gets me coffee.
So when is it status quo for him to make a $10,000 withdrawal from that business account?
Absolutely not. He makes 1 withdrawal a month prior to our separation, and that was at my discretion after I run our profit and loss statement by the 5th of every month for the prior month. And I would tell him via text, this is the amount of money you are approved to withdraw from this business account. This is our profit from the prior month.
And do you have any history of not paying your employees?
No, ma'am, and every single one of my employees can attest to that.
Do you have any history of misappropriating any business funds?
No, ma'am. I will say last month, which we've discussed, there was a hotel room that I used my business credit card for because I did not have my personal credit card at the time. But my associate, Chris Draper, has paid $50 back into the business account for that, splitting the hotel room costs. And I'm more than willing to pay the other $50 in restitution.
Can you tell the court what approximately that amount was?
It was $105 to La Quinta Inn, I believe.
And are you capable of putting that money back?
Yes,
into the
ma'am.
account?
I can do it today.
So she is giving justification here for using business funds for personal use. And that typically, especially if you own a business with someone else, should be heavily monitored. She talks about payroll taxes. So that's, a tax strategy for business owners. And looks like she keeps track of like profit and loss statements. So she keeps track of the financials. Maybe she has a CPA, or maybe she does everything by herself. Regardless, it sounds like the business is still 50-50 owned. So she can't just take whatever she wants from the business and use it for personal use.
Are you willing to provide your husband with an accounting of business expenditures going forward?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
And are you asking the court that this mandatory injunction and restraining order stay in effect so that you can properly operate your business?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Holly.
Sir.
Is this the attorney for the husband? It's about to get good. Let's go.
Mr. Valdez. You're talking about you left for your own safety from the marital residence. You're having an affair, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you admitted to having the affair
Left that part out.
to Mr. Valdez after it happened. Yeah, you have to say yes or
Yes,
no
sir.
to the court reporter. Okay. Before that, this summer, you guys were husband and wife. You took a trip or two, day trip with the kids, did the husband and wife thing. Is that accurate?
Regular family things, yes, sir.
Yeah. When you left the house, you said that, he gave you an hour to get out, and then you left for your own safety,
Yes, sir.
and you returned
Sunday,
the next day, right?
2 days later.
2 days later, and you stayed at the house for a week.
Does that sound like somebody who's afraid?
After I served him those divorce papers, I said, I'm willing to cohabitate with you while we function through the separation and divorce.
And it wasn't an issue of your safety at that point then, was it?
I left a week later because I did not feel safe anymore because of his volatile emotional state.
When you left that,
Caption here on the screen says, but you left your kids with him? She felt safe doing that.
night, you said you left for your own safety when you initially left, said you had an hour, to get out and all that. Where'd you go that night?
I got a hotel room in Gallatin, Tennessee.
In Gallatin, and you stayed there with your boyfriend.
Yes, he met me there.
Yeah.
And that's when we consummated our relationship, was that night.
I'm sorry?
That's when we consummated our relationship, was that night.
Okay, so you had sexual relations with him that night
Yes, sir.
and that weekend and came back to Mr. Valdez on Sunday, correct?
Yes, sir.
So the name of the person you're having an affair with is whom?
Christopher Draper.
Christopher Draper. And how did you meet Mr. Draper?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Why would she even bring that up? She thought that was a good thing, right? That like, just don't worry, we weren't cheating before. I waited until that fight and let him bust the cheeks fast, not slow.
I met him through Facebook Marketplace when I was selling a salon chair from Giggles and Glam.
Okay. And
That was July 17th.
you talked about, going to the motel room with Mr. Draper. How did you pay for that?
I paid for that with my own personal Kroger credit card.
Okay. And you didn't put that on the business card?
No, sir, I did not.
And you're sure about that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And he actually paid you back for half of it, correct?
The hotel that you're referring to, you're mistaken. It was for a later date for La Quinta Inn, not the hotel that was from that Friday night.
Multiple
I'm
nights.
sorry, I got confused. So La Quinta Inn, then you stayed there with your boyfriend and you put that on the business credit card, correct?
Yes, because I left my personal credit card at home mistakenly.
And then your boyfriend paid you back for half of it, correct?
Half of it, yes.
But in your half of it, well, let me back up a minute. Giggles and Glam is a jointly owned business between you and Mr. Valdez, correct?
Yes, it is on paper.
Yeah, well, it is, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And he helped start the business. You all used some of the funds of the marriage to help get the business started.
There's something here on screen. It says, so she was complaining that he took money out of the business account and locked her out, but it's possibly because she was spending it on hotel rooms with her boyfriend. That's a good point.
He helped start the business. Y'all used some of the funds of the marriage to help get the business started, like most folks that start a business.
You are mistaken when it comes to he helped start the business. I vetted this business. They were a personal client of mine. I did all the legwork, paperwork, legal work, and red tape work to acquire this business. And he can attest to that through various Facebook posts that he has made about me a year ago.
Is there any marital funds that went into the business initially?
There was a small amount of savings that went into a down payment.
Right. So it's fair to say then at least your half of the motel room that night was part of Mr. Valdez's part of the business when you used that card, correct?
Right.
Yes.
And he paid for you to go out with your boyfriend and your affair.
Amounting
Right.
to around $52. Yes, sir.
So how long have you been seeing Mr. Draper?
I have been in communication with him since July 17th, and we consummated our relationship and made it official the night that I left my residence. And I believe that was August 5th, but I would have to clarify that.
Yeah. And Mr. Valdez is going to testify that out of 33 days, I believe it was when I added it up, I didn't add in this last week, and we'll get to it. But from like August the 12th, I believe is about when you left. Is that pretty close?
Left to go get a rental home, you're saying?
No,
or
left
the
the
night he
marriage.
kicked me out?
Yeah, that night that you left. When was that?
I would have to check back through my text messages because I was texting some personal friends about what was going on and how unsafe I felt to confirm that date.
Okay, well, from August 12th to basically this September 18th date that we've got here, he's going to testify that 26 of those 33 days, the kids were with him. Is that accurate?
The kids were with him for a substantial amount of time in the beginning because I was setting up the home. I had to buy furniture. I did not want to traumatize the children by bringing them into a new home separated from their father prematurely. But since I have set up a safe, clean, and capable home, the kids have been with me on a regular basis.
How long has that been? Sorry, I'm trying to connect something.
How long has it been since I moved in?
How long has it been since you've been in a safe and stable home?
Since I moved in, I believe August 18th is when I signed the lease and moved in.
Well, that doesn't track with what Mr. Valdez is going to say, and I'm asking you if this is accurate. He's going to testify from this August 12th to around the September 18th date, which is about 33 days, that the kids were with him 26 of those 33 days.
I believe that is grossly inaccurate. The kids were not with me initially after I moved out to go get my rental property at 318 Maple Street for probably the first 10 to 14 days because I needed to furnish it. I needed to get everything prepared so it was a comfortable environment for them. What he's also failing to disclose is that I came over to the residence every day to cook, clean, and prepare a home for him and the children to provide the children a sense of normalcy. That is what he's failing to disclose. And I would leave in the evening time to go back to my home.
How did the kids take the separation and you taking them off to your place?
The kids personally, once they arrived at my residence, were elated. We had toys that my mother had purchased for them there.
Right.
There were new beds, new furniture, new clothes, food that they normally were not allowed to eat at my ex-husband's house. They were elated to be there. In fact, that night I have it on video, them dancing around to music about how excited they were.
Excited that you were cheating with your new boyfriend.
I want to show you a video and ask you if you recognize this video coming from your doorbell.
No.
I don't want to be like this.
It's
No, Daddy, I don't want to be like this.
It's gonna be
No,
okay.
Daddy, I don't want to be like this.
Oh, this is sad.
No, I don't want to be like this.
Daddy will walk me to the car.
No, I don't want to be like this.
Caption here says, that's sad. I thought it was going to be her and her boyfriend. Me too. There she said they were excited. They were ecstatic. And there you have the only people who suffer to this extent the most. In divorce, when a cheating wife like this decides to be selfish, that's the children, right? There's their son there crying, saying, I don't want it to be like this. Very sad. Sure is highly triggering for a lot of people who've been through this, you know?
So is it fair to say that your son was taking that kind of rough?
Yes, I need to provide some context to that video.
Well, that's a yes or no question. It's fair to
Yes,
say
he
that-
was taking it very rough.
And your boyfriend, he works at your business now, correct? You've given him a job.
Yes, sir. He's a master barber at the salon.
He's a master barber at the salon. And has that caused any conflicts with your employees at all?
It had not my affair with him, but him being employed there has caused issues with 2 employees that are no longer employed there. They had personal grievances to his personality.
Wow.
But before we go into that, I would like to shed some
Well, you
context onto that
understand
video.
well, you have an opportunity to do that with your lawyer. Now, with your current employees, though, fair to say they've quit, you fired.
One was
because of the
terminated,
problems
one
with
quit.
Christopher Draper, correct?
This is crazy.
Because their one was terminated not because of Christopher Draper, one quit because of their personal grievances with personality with Christopher Draper.
Was it personality, or was it the fact that you guys are, basically fooling around in the office and they don't like seeing that?
Damn.
Absolutely not.
Have you ever fooled around at the office, in this business, your joint business? Have you ever fooled around at the office with Mr. Draper?
No, sir, I have not.
I'll show you, there's 2 videos here, and I want to ask you if you recognize this.
Nah. Yo, hire this man, bro.
No sound. Now, is this your back storage room at the office?
Yes, it is.
No way.
And that's Mr. Draper, I take it.
Yes, it is.
No
And
way.
he's here today, correct?
Yes, he is.
Oh, he was busting it in the place of business that she owns with her husband. This is crazy. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. How is this? Oh, she's so screwed.
I'm going to ask you if you recognize this video as well.
Oh, shit.
That's your back storage room and you and Mr. Draper.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, what a 304.
But you're out of sight of your employees, so they're not seeing any of this, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Comment here says, why is she watching the video like she wasn't there? She's acting all like she's investigating something for the first time. She probably didn't know they had that.
This is the time technically he should be out there cutting hair, correct?
He was in between appointments, Your Honor.
Now, who is this coming in here to say you got a phone call?
That is Marissa Wallace. She's one of my receptionists.
Okay. So, I mean, your people do see that.
See me giving a hug. I would hardly call that fooling around.
Ma'am, we saw the way that man was grabbing up your thighs.
Right.
So what we've displayed here today, you would not technically call fooling around.
The hug that my employee witnessed, I would not call fooling around. The kissing from the prior video, yes, I guess you could technically label that as fooling around.
Well, it's
You hug all your employees like that?
fair to say you recognize 2 of your employees here today, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right. And if they testified they actually saw this and other things, would you deny that?
I know who was on shift that particular day, and Jessica was not on shift, and Kennedy was in the middle of an appointment. So I don't see how they could have witnessed anything in that video besides Marissa Wallace, who was the receptionist that came in.
Mm-hmm. You think your employees talk about everything that goes on there?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, they do.
Okay. So we've talked about you spending money for your boyfriend at the motel, the business funds for your boyfriend at the motel. Have you spent any other business funds with your boyfriend?
There was one purchase as a gag gift for our joint friend for his birthday, which Christopher Draper has paid back in full to me, to the business account. I use the business account because it is tied to an Amazon account, and that was for a gag gift, which is called a pocket pussy. But it was a gag gift. It was not for our quote unquote illicit affair, and Christopher Draper has paid that back in full.
She bought him a pocket P? Hold on.
Was for a gag gift, which is called a pocket pussy. But it was a gag gift. It was not for our quote unquote illicit affair. And Christopher Draper has paid that back in full within 12 hours of the purchase.
Well, if I may ask, how many of these pocket peas have you given to your other employees as a gag gift?
It was, you misunderstand, you misheard. It was not to an employee. It was to a mutual friend for his birthday as a gag gift.
All right. What about, is there anything else? You see the banner up there. Did you buy him a banner?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so now we've got this. What did you buy with him for your business funds here from Fast Signs?
It is for the barbershop he is starting called Drip Fades.
Drip Fades.
Okay, and this is a picture of the banner that you got, correct?
Yes, sir.
Drip Fades, Love is King. This is still a child barbershop type thing, or is it?
No, well, he does service children, but this is an adult salon, an adult barbershop.
All right, and you're helping him get started with that?
Yes, I am.
And you're using your business funds of Mr. Valdez apparently to do that?
No, I believe I purchased this with my personal credit card.
Okay, I'll let Mr. Valdez show that. Do you believe or are you certain?
I believe.
So you're not certain?
Well, quite frankly, you have me second guessing myself based off the amount of evidence that you're bringing up on the screen.
You're lying. You've been using the business income owned by you and your husband, his business as well, to fund this. This is so sick. To fund the felon's boyfriend's business ventures, and also giving him free cat and buying him or your friend or wherever she's lying about pocket peas. This is crazy.
Well, I understand that does have a tendency to make people second guess themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Why would that make you second guess yourself?
I think it's natural to be a little bit nervous when being attacked. And my personal information that I have no idea how Vince has come upon unless he's hacking my computer or my emails.
So
of course, it makes me a little bit nervous.
Okay to lie as long as you don't get caught? Is that what you're saying?
No, sir, that's not what I'm saying.
Have you referred business to Mr. Valdez? Have you referred business to Mr. Draper? I'm sure.
If we could not take in clients, yes, I have referred them to what I call our associate barber, as he has referred business to me.
So as far as the making out and the business funds being spent on Mr. Draper, do you think that's good for the business that you and Mr. Valdez have?
I think as long as it does not damage the clients, the employees, or the revenue of the business, I think that it is irrelevant if I kiss my boyfriend in the back room.
Okay. Well, you understand you got two employees here that are no longer your employees, correct?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
And they're going to testify it was a problem. You understand that?
Yes, sir, I do. I also have double the amount of employees that will attest that it's not a problem for Christopher Draper to be there.
Did you go on a trip with your boyfriend this last week?
Yes, sir, I did.
Where'd y'all go?
We went to Morgantown, North Carolina, as I was running a 18K.
How long did y'all stay there?
We were there about 48 hours.
Okay.
What a piece of work this woman is.
How did you pay for that?
With my personal credit card
How are you going to pay that off?
from my own personal income.
From Giggles and Glam?
Giggles and Glam and Valley Cleaning Service. Yes, sir.
All right. So in a roundabout way, Mr. Valdez is paying for your trip
Right.
with your boyfriend.
In a roundabout way, I guess you could say that he is.
She
All
doesn't,
right,
she doesn't
so-
care.
You've taken other trips with your boyfriend, quite a few, correct?
The only other trip I can think of was, no, we have not taken any long trips. We've driven within an hour of my residence to go hiking or to go camping. But I wouldn't call those trips necessarily.
You do that rather frequently. How many of those have you taken?
We went hiking for 3 hours. It was a day trip. We left at 10 a.m. We were back home by 3 or 4 p.m. That was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And then on a Thursday night, I believe, September 7th, we went on a 18-hour camping trip to a state park in Gallatin, Tennessee.
Okay. And all these times and others are going to be the times that, would you agree with me, Mr. Valdez is going to say that you asked him to keep the kids?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. So you'd rather be with your boyfriend then than be with your children?
The hiking trip was when the kids were in school, and
But he kept them. He kept them at night and did that kind of thing, correct?
So the hiking trip that we took, that was 4 or 5 weeks ago, if I remember correctly, the residence that I had rented was not prepared yet for the kids. So the kids, yes, were in his care. And then the 18-hour camping trip we went on was September 7th. That was a Thursday. And that was technically one of the nights that the kids were scheduled to be with Vince.
As you talked about, you're alleging it's been like a 4-3, 3-4 type relationship. Mr. Valdez is going to say differently. I told you that.
Can you explain what you mean, a 3-4? What was that?
Well, I thought you were talking about, it was your testimony. I thought if I missed it, you're talking about 4 days with one, 3 days with the other. The next week it's 4 days with the one that got 3 days, and then kind of rotate that. That's what you were testifying to, correct?
Yeah, that's what we have had planned, but it has
This woman has been proven to be a liar already.
fluctuate week to week. That's what I've said.
Fluctuated quite a bit, correct?
Yes, that's true.
Why not take these trips on the time that it's not your time with the children? I mean, why don't you arrange?
Because
a trip
I
with your
work
boyfriend, even
evenings
at
with
least
the
around
Valley
that?
Cleaning Service, and Vincent has expressed interest that he wants the kids with him as much as possible because he does not think they're safe in my care. And I
If you're
work
leaving the
evening.
kids- If you're leaving the kids with him like that, do you think they're safe in your care?
Of course, they're safe in my care.
And
Of
your
course they are.
boyfriend's a convicted felon, correct?
Oh my God.
Yes, he is a felon.
And I've looked at his record. I mean,
Boom.
there's thefts and charges and things like that, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And quite a checkered past of felonies and rehabs, correct?
Yes, sir, you're correct.
Yo, this
Can you
woman,
understand why Mr. Valdez would have concerns about the kids being around your boyfriend?
Naively, yes.
Have you given Mr. Valdez any other significant have you given Mr. Draper any other significant monies?
Personal funds, yes.
And how much and what for?
So with the commute back and forth with our relationship, he failed to qualify for a personal loan for a motorcycle. And so out of a personal credit card, I funded him roughly $3,500, which he's making monthly payments to me personally for that motorcycle, just so he doesn't have to spend money on gas quite as much.
why is it always these wives who divorce their stable husbands? I mean, we know why, right? We know why. You're looking for excitement. Now you got it. I still, there's still that question though. This will end in tears for her and everybody who's involved, except, I guess the husband will probably get a better deal here. But why? Why?
To come see me and to travel to and I'm trying to say, to and from work.
Getting nervous.
He does stay at my residence from time to time. Yes, sir.
I've got Facebook posts where he called it home.
Yes, he sees it as home, very much so.
He's living with you.
Yes, he is living with me.
All right. So what kind of motorcycle did he get with your funds?
I believe it was a Kawasaki.
So I want to show you a couple of PayPals, ask you if you recognize this, where you sent yourself, Christopher Wilden, at this point. That he goes by a couple of different names, correct?
His legal name is Wilden, yes, sir. But he
Wilden.
goes by Christopher Draper.
All right. So, Mr. Wilden, you sent him $1,250 here, is that correct?
There were 3 or 4 different payments on PayPal for my own personal
I'm
money.
going to take them one by one. So this was $1,250 you sent to Mr. Wilden, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was on September 13th. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
That was after you left.
Yes, sir.
And for the record, can you read what your note was?
It says, "I love you so much."
And your testimony is that was for a motorcycle.
Trash.
Yes, it was.
And here's where you sent $1,000 to your boyfriend, Mr. Wilden, the same day. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
And what's your message there for him?
Vroom, vroom.
And that's for the motorcycle, correct?
Yes, sir.
And here's another $1,000 for the same day.
No, bro.
And what did you put in the notation for it?
Round 2
And again, this was money you sent to Christopher Wilden.
for the
Correct.
motorcycle.
And then here's a Venmo where you paid $500 the day before, September 12th. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir. That was the deposit for the motorcycle.
For the motorcycle.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much was the motorcycle?
I believe it was $37.50.
Okay. You pretty well paid for the whole motorcycle, didn't you?
He's making monthly payments to me to pay me back.
Is this why you need that $10,000 to make sure you got plenty of money for your boyfriend and all of that?
No, sir.
That $5,000 that you got back from the business initially, is your testimony that none of that money would be traced to this?
None of that will be traced to this.
Where'd you come up with the $37.50 then?
This was a PayPal credit card that I qualified for about 5 weeks back, totaling, I believe it was $6,700.
Here's where you're paying him $20 for a referral.
He's paying me $20 for a referral. Any client that we could not take into Giggles, meaning we were too booked, instead of them going to Great Clips, Sports Clips, or something like that, I would refer them to Christopher Draper, and he would send me a referral reward from his own personal money as a thank you. He has also sent me a handful of clients as well.
Why did you not have time to give someone a haircut on August the 26th then?
Because we were fully booked, sir.
Can you imagine how angry
He paid you $45.
you'd have to be as a husband going through this situation, knowing that your money is being used for the new guy that's sleeping with your wife? I mean, it's just highly, highly triggering.
And this is noted as what?
Payback for the hotel. That's the hotel in question, the La Quinta Inn.
Half of it.
Roughly, yes. It was $89 plus tax.
And he paid you $20 here, and that was for?
The gag gift. And then he also, you'll see further down, if you have it on record, provided by Vincent Valdez, another $20 that he paid me.
And this was a gag gift, you said, for him?
Yes, to our friend Noel. He had just gotten dumped by his girlfriend and was lonely, and we thought it'd be hilarious to get him his toy.
How much was the toy?
$39.99 on Amazon plus tax.
You paid him $89.75, and that's for him working on a Sunday, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we already went over this. To your knowledge, what is his criminal history?
It is varied. There is a lot of petty stuff on record for him in Indiana and Tennessee. He does have a felonious charge that he served time for what I believe was identity theft.
This says, just say felony, LOL, Miss Pretentious, felonious. She's like, felonious. I can't even say it. Felonious, she thinks sounds better, right? Let's go ahead and speak in cursive so that I don't sound like I am a dummy.
He, at the time of his incarceration, was granted the privilege of going into court, which is very rare, where he got clean from his addiction. He has now been clean for 5 years and has been released from jail, I want to say 3 years now, 3.5 years he's been out.
Caption here says, well, whoop-de-doo, let's buy him a motorcycle and let him babysit our kids.
What petty stuff then? Let me ask you that. What's the petty stuff on his record that you know of?
I mean, the last time I looked at it was 8 weeks ago when I ran a background check after we first met. I mean, it's everything from...
She ran a background check?
Goodness. Forgive me, I don't know the right legal wordage for it. When you talk back to an officer, when you're not cooperating with them, speeding tickets.
Resisting arrest?
I believe there was also a past due license he was driving with. There's also petty theft, little things like that.
Well, I know you call them little things, but
it is a seasoned criminal.
They're not felonious, so let's clarify. There was one felony charge on him.
Okay. You call them little things. Mr. Valdez is very concerned about his children being around this character. You understand that part?
I do understand
And
that.
you've had your children around him, correct? He's met your children.
He has met my 2-year-old Sage after I take Sage to the therapy appointments that I have scheduled myself that my husband failed to do.
And that's the only one that he's been around?
Yes, sir. For no more than 5 minutes at a time.
You have plans to let him be around your children, though, correct?
In the future, yes, I do.
Judge's like, no, you don't.
Do you drink?
I do, yes, sir.
All right. And you've had drinks with him, correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilden being him.
Wilden, yes,
Wilden,
sir.
yes. And how many times have you drank with Mr. Wilden?
We drink in the evenings anytime we're together to relax and unwind like any adult would.
Okay. And you're talking about that's every evening y'all are together? That's what I'm hearing?
Look at the
About
judge. This is when the judge decided she's not getting shit.
6 nights a week, yes, sir, we're together.
Okay. And how much do you drink every night?
Personally, for me, I probably have 2 Coronas or 2 glasses of Chardonnay.
How many does he have?
He probably has 2 or 3 Coronas.
All right. Well, I mean, you understand somebody that's been to rehab that's got a drug addiction shouldn't be enticing themselves with alcohol.
I believe that NA does follow those guidelines, yes, of complete 100% sobriety.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your answer to that?
I said I do believe that NA, which is Narcotics Anonymous, does adhere to the philosophy that someone in recovery should adhere to 100% sobriety.
Should what?
Adhere to 100% sobriety.
Okay. And he's not been doing that if he's drinking alcohol, correct?
Factually, yes, that's true.
And again, you think that's okay to have around the children at some point?
I think that alcohol is okay to have around children.
A drunk, seasoned criminal babysitting kids. Oh, man. It's not funny. It's not funny.
I fail to see the point you're trying to make. The philosophy that NA holds is one of a personal choice. It is not mandated.
I want to show you some Facebook posts here on the screen and ask you, first of all, do you recognize this as one of your Facebook posts?
Yes, sir.
And that's you and Mr. Wilden, correct?
Yes, sir.
What does lock and key mean?
It's our pet names for each other. I'm the lock, he's the key, meaning that we are soulmates.
Lock her up too, Your Honor.
So Mr. Draper puts on here, that's Mr. Wilden as well, correct?
Wilden, yes, sir.
Sorry. And you can steal $10,000, but you can't steal joy. And he tags you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he's talking about this $10,000, right?
Yes, because at the time of that post, I was distraught, thinking I would not be able to function my business past the next day.
This is you and he at the business?
Yes, sir, at the barbershop that he works at.
Who took that picture?
One of his clients, Bob.
Another photo of you and him on Facebook?
Yes, sir, we were cooking salmon together that evening.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm just going to object as to relevance because we've already established that she's seeing this individual and we're getting off track from how this has anything to do with the business.
What's the
Well,
relevance, Mr. Hawley?
as for the motion to adopt the parenting plan concerning the children, I think every bit of this is relevant.
Overrule the objection because I'm allowing it solely for that purpose as to whether or not how it affects the court's decision on a parenting plan. We're at a pause, so we're going to break for lunch. We'll recess for lunch until 1:30. Mr. Hawley, you may continue your cross-examination.
Ms. Valdez, I'm going to show you a Facebook post and ask you if you're familiar with this post. this
Facebook
morning.
post.
Yes, sir, I am.
And what does that say?
It says, on our way to battle.
What are we battling today?
It is
Ms. Valdez?
It is a metaphor, Mr. Hawley. A metaphor is a use of symbolism.
Well, when you use a metaphor, you're kind of implying some things. What are you implying here?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. She's not implying anything. This isn't even her post.
Argumentative, Mr. Hawley. I
I'll move on.
understand she's on her way to court. Most people consider it to be battle, and I don't think that is in any way derogatorily intended. So.
Let me ask you this, Ms. Valdez. Is this your post?
Yes, sir, it is.
Do you remember when you made this post?
I did after I found out that Vincent Valdez took $10,000 out of my business account.
And you said what about that on your post? Can you read that?
Time to go to war. I was built for this.
Okay. And in your parable, your boyfriend said in a comment here, get your paint out, put your knife on, bring home the effing spoils, leave no survivors.
Yes,
He
sir,
was,
that's correct.
he was talking to you in that situation, correct?
He was encouraging me after years of mental and emotional buck up and to be brave and strong and to not be amicable anymore in the divorce proceedings.
Okay. I'm going to show you a video and ask you if you recognize this video as a video of you at the house with a police escort.
Uh-oh.
This is your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And this was after you made this post, correct?
Yes, sir, it is. I actually called the police escort there for my own safety, hence the knife.
And you've got a knife on your belt, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct, for personal safety.
Was
The
it
police
because your
officers were
boyfriend-
there for me.
Was it because your boyfriend told you to?
No, sir, that is a personal knife that actually my husband bought me.
You had the police there as well, correct?
For my own personal safety, yes, sir.
Yeah, and you still felt like you had to wear a knife?
That was for my own personal safety. Yes, sir.
And you talked about, you need this money for your business funds, to be able to pay employees, things of that nature. You did a photo shoot.
Yes, sir, I did.
And where did you do a photo shoot at?
At Studio 110 by Holly Douglas in Gallatin, Tennessee.
Okay, and when did you do that?
Where?
When?
I did that, I want to say it was the first week of September, last week of August. I'd have to look back at the dates.
It was after you separated, correct?
Yes, sir, it was.
How much did that photo shoot cost you?
$2,800.
Photo shoot for $2,800. Must have been an important photo shoot.
And I'm sorry, you said that was $3,500?
$800.
$2,800. Where did you get the money to do that with?
Personal loan.
Were there any
By the way, she's taking out a lot of loans, credit cards.
photographs of you nude?
Yes, sir, there were.
Were
Your Honor, I'm going to object again. I don't see the relevance between a photo.
Hold up. She took nude photos?
There were.
Your
were
Honor, I'm going to object again.
photographs of you nude?
Yes, sir, there were.
Your
Were
Honor, I'm going to
Damn.
object again. I don't see the relevance between a photo shoot in parenting your children or a photo shoot in Giggles and Glam.
I could have another question or two. I'll be glad to link that up, but this was actually on the
I'm going
internet.
to reserve ruling on it till Mr. Holly is able to show some relevance.
And was this on the internet?
The nude photos were not, but the ones where I was in teddies and other undergarments were.
But you did have the nude photos on the internet with a blackout, correct?
Yes, blocking out the exposed area.
Okay. And that was on the internet, correct?
It was on a TikTok, yes, sir.
Are you concerned about your children
Oh.
seeing that at some point?
No, sir, I'm not, because they do not have a TikTok unless their father shows them that video.
Oh, this chick is insane. You're a mother. Why are you posting nudes of you online?
Are you concerned about any?
Look, the judge's looking it up. He's like, well, I gotta make sure I study these photos. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Them seeing that about their mother on the internet?
No, sir, quite frankly, I'm not, because no nude area is exposed.
Do you use?
No, sir, I do not.
Could you pass a test today? We've kind of requested one in the parenting plan and in the motion. Could you pass a test today?
What kind of test are we talking about?
Well, let's talk about a hair follicle 10-panel test that may go back 6 months.
No, sir, I would not pass that.
Why would you fail that then?
Because in the past, I have used shrooms.
Shrooms.
Yes, sir,
What are
mushrooms.
shrooms?
It's hard to explain, but you ingest them and they make you feel euphoric for a few hours.
They're drugs. People defend marijuana and shrooms like they're the Bible. They're drugs. I don't care what people say about them. They don't make you more responsible. You don't do shrooms if you have stuff to do. And people defend them to the death. But if you go do some research right now of marijuana-induced psychosis, you'll see that not everybody has a great time on any one of those drugs.
Okay, and you're referring to mushrooms, correct?
Yes, sir.
They are illegal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when's the last time you've done mushrooms?
About 3 weeks back.
3 weeks. So it would have been after the separation as well.
Yes, sir.
Who did you do mushrooms with?
I did mushrooms with Christopher Draper in the privacy of my home when my kids were not present.
Okay, and he did them with you?
Yes, sir, he did.
Okay. Did you have any issues with someone that's going through rehab having a relapse by using mushrooms?
Well, that was not his choice when he was in rehab, so I would not call that a relapse into meds.
So that means was his choice?
Yes, sir, at the time it was.
Okay. And being addicted to mange and going through rehab and court and battling countless felonies, it's still not considered by you to be a relapse if you're doing mushrooms and drinking alcohol every night.
I did not say that I was doing it every night. Yes, I have a Corona every night after running my 2 businesses and I get home.
And again, where were the kids when you were doing mushrooms? Were they with their dad?
They were with, yes, their father.
Okay. And you feel comfortable with the kids being with father while you're conducting this type of activity?
Is that a trick question? Of course, I feel comfortable with them being with their father.
And she has the nerve to be rude.
Do you have any issues with Mr. Valdez having exclusive possession of the marital residence since you moved out?
No, I offered that to him in the original MDA.
So that's really unopposed today. He can have the marital residence.
I've always felt that way, yes, sir.
Okay. May I have just a moment, Your Honor?
Ms. Valdez, a few things that I would like to clarify with you. You testified earlier to Mr. Hawley about how you left the marital residence, and then you testified about how you carry a knife with you when you went back to the marital residence. Can you tell the court a little bit about why you felt so unsafe returning to the marital home?
Yes, ma'am. So to put in some context that Mr. Hawley shared earlier prior to our recess, when I served Vincent with the divorce papers the Sunday following him kicking me out, I agreed to cohabitate with him while the divorce proceedings were happening. And I lived upstairs in the office. That lasted about a week until I had to leave due to me feeling unsafe. And there was an incident that occurred, I believe it was August 17th, somewhere right around there, where I was still visiting the residents throughout the day, cooking, cleaning, trying to provide a sense of normalcy for the children so we would not traumatize them while Vince and I were in transition. And while I was hanging up some of his shirts in the bathroom, as my daughter laid on the bed not 10 yards away, I felt Vince come up to my side from behind me, and I turned around. He was very close to me. He put his hands on my waist, proceeded to slowly, but regardless, push me up against the wall. I felt like he was trying to kiss me. His hands began to move a little bit lower down my waist. Eventually, they probably would have touched my buttocks. I told him no to stop 3 times. And when he wouldn't, I put my hands on his chest and pushed him off. I then left the residence, went to the backyard because I was so upset, called Christopher Draper, asked him what to do. And he said I needed to leave the residence immediately, even if it was without the kids, for my own safety, and to never go back in there unless I was accompanied with my mother or with a police officer.
You called the felon for help.
Thank you for sharing that. And just to be clear, was your minor child present and
Yes.
witnessed your husband do that?
Yes.
And guys, I understand that people change, right? People become better, but that's not what we see here. We see somebody who's still participating in drug use. I'm talking about the boyfriend, and who's being a negative influence.
All right. Counsel also showed you a video of your child crying. There were cars in the video and your child was crying. Can you give the court some context about why your child was crying like that?
Yes, the reason why River, my son, was saying, I don't want this, Daddy, I don't want this. That particular day, Vince and I had planned for the kids to stay with me for the first time at my new rental. I had gotten it furnished and prepared for them, and that was the agreed upon day for them to spend the first night with me. We agreed that I was going to show up at a certain time. and sit the kids down. My original hope was we were going to tell the kids to transition them slowly. Hey, mommy got a second house. It's just because it's closer to your new school. We're going to be doing some, and I quote, campouts at mommy's house. My goal was to provide them with a slow transition to not traumatize them, since they did not need to know that the divorce was happening quite yet. Vince proceeded in that moment to, for lack of better words, rip the Band-Aid off and say things along the lines of, mommy has decided that she doesn't want to be married to daddy anymore. Mommy has decided that she's leaving this family, that she's moving out. Daddy doesn't want this, and mommy wants a divorce. And she doesn't want to be husband and wife anymore. To which in that moment, my son broke down distraught because it came out of left field and his mind did not know how to process what my husband was saying.
Thank you. And has your son had any more outbursts or crying fits since then?
No, ma'am. He cried for about 5 minutes in the car, but by the time we got to my mother's house, which was 13 minutes away, he was happy. By the time we got to my rental, he was dancing to music. He was playing with the new toys I had bought him. He was saying things along the lines of, I love this house.
Back to the hearsay.
I have video of the dancing and the music.
Ma'am, when there's an objection, you must stop talking
I
until I
apologize.
rule on the objection. Sustained, I don't think
Argumentative.
that is relevant. And it is a statement of the child, so it's introduced for the proof of the matter. Sustain the objection.
Ms. Valdez, how long have you gone without seeing the children?
At one given time or
Yes.
total? I would say it was actually here pretty recently. I had a marathon this past weekend. And so I've gone since Thursday morning without seeing them, and I get to see them tomorrow. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 full days, 4.5 days.
And do you visit them when your husband has them in his possession?
I no longer go over to the house, no, for my own personal safety. In the past, I would go over there, like I said, to cook and clean and help with the house and help him transition, but I no longer do that.
And you testified earlier that Mr. Draper will spend the night at your residence sometimes, but that he has never been in the presence of the minor children for more than 5 minutes. Can you explain to the court how that works?
Yes. So to clarify that 5 minutes, that's with my 2-year-old son, Sage. On Wednesdays, I take Sage to 2 therapy appointments. And afterwards, I drop off lunch to Christopher Draper at his barbershop, in which my son, Sage, is present for that. But Christopher is working, so we never stay long. Secondly, Christopher comes over after hours at around 9 o'clock. The kids are already in bed. We have dinner on the front porch, and then we go to bed. He leaves for work between 4 and 4:30 a.m. before any of the kids even wake up.
Mr. Hawley also showed us a lot of statements on the screen, miscellaneous charges. How much have you spent erroneously through the business account to Mr. Draper?
Through the business account, I would estimate between 50 and 200 tops.
So very minimal in
Very
terms
minimal.
of what kind of profit the business is generating.
The
Is that
cash
correct?
flow on average every month from Giggles, revenue and everything is between $35,000 and $45,000 every month.
You said $35,000 every month?
Minimum, if not up to $45,000. That's the cash flow going through the business. Yes, ma'am.
I also think it's really interesting how she fears for her husband who doesn't have a criminal background, from what it sounds like, but does not fear the guy who's been proven to be actually dangerous.
And the credit card account that Mr. Hawley put up on the screen earlier, was that your credit card account?
Are we referring to the PayPal?
Yes.
Yes, that is my own personal credit card that I took out after Vince and I separated.
Is your husband associated with that account in any way?
No, ma'am, he's not.
We also saw a video from Mr. Hawley with you and Mr. Draper hugging and kissing in the laundry room. Mm-hmm. Did you lose any business over that interaction?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Okay. Did you lose any employees over that interaction?
No, ma'am, I did not.
And the 2 employees that counsel brought up earlier, have you, the 2 that were here in the courtroom, did they both quit?
Kennedy, the young lady with the black hair, quit abruptly. She did not show up for her shift. She never gave me a reasoning. I contacted her with no response. The only thing I can surmise is personal grievances towards me or the business, albeit a week prior, she had just gotten a $150 bonus from me for such a good performance. I had just taken her out for a steak dinner. I thought everything was fine. Jessica, the African-American woman, was my general manager. I fired her for misconduct. She also was having a history of poor reviews on top of it for her work ethic. I found out that she was distributing pictures of my boudoir photo shoot to staff members. So because of those unethical reasons, I fired her.
And did you use any funds from the business for that boudoir shoot?
No, ma'am. It was all on either the down payment was on the Kroger personal credit card, and then the rest was on the PayPal credit card.
And you just testified earlier that you used mushrooms. Do you have any plans on that being a recreational thing for you?
No, ma'am, I do not.
And were your children
Right.
in your presence when
No,
that
ma'am,
occurred?
they were not.
And does Mr. Draper have any connection to your business-related expenditures?
No, he has absolutely no access to anything.
That's all I have, Judge.
I don't believe that.
Holly?
To be clear, I thought I heard this. So, Mr. Wilden, he's sleeping at your house every night when the kids are there. They just don't, according to you, I guess, meet in the hallway?
They are in bed. I have their monitor on. We have dinner on the front porch, and then we go upstairs and spend our time up there with the door locked.
You said that in the process of this fear that you had with Mr. Valdez at one point, you called Mr. Draper and he kind of told you what to, or Mr. Wilden, and he kind of told you what to do. Wilden kind of told you what to do, correct?
Yes, he said I need to leave the residence for my own safety.
Okay, so you rely on him and you kind of are doing what he told you in that situation.
I sought him for counsel, yes.
Okay.
Huh.
Are y'all drinking every night and then going to bed with the kids there?
We drink about 5 nights a week, but I think there's a difference between getting intoxicated and having a beer in the evening. And we are not getting intoxicated every evening.
Again, back to my question, it would be the answer is yes, that you are drinking every night while the kids are there with Mr. Wilden.
Yes, we are having a beer when my kids are present.
Why are you hiding Mr. Wilden in from your kids?
Because I do not think it appropriate to introduce them to another man in my life until the divorce is final.
But as long as they don't meet in the hallway,
I guess that's a risk, yes.
nothing further.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor. I'd like to call Christopher Wilson.
I have a few questions before you do that. Let me describe for me what the situation was before your separation regarding the children when you and Mr. Valdez were living together. Tell me how that went.
Sorry, Your Honor, you mean the child care situation, what it looked like? I was the main child care provider. Even though I own these two businesses, I was more or less a stay-at-home mother. I took care of all the dental appointments, ballet appointments, soccer, therapy, grocery shopping. I even homeschooled them from preschool up until 6 weeks ago. After I separated with my husband, I knew I would not be able to facilitate homeschooling in an honorable way, and so I enrolled them in a local elementary school. But I was the main caretaker and provider since birth.
And if your lawyer asks you if you plan to use the shrooms, mushrooms as a recreational thing in the future, if you weren't planning to do that for the future, why do it at all?
Right.
It was
There
an
we go.
opportunistic experimental situation where they were gifted to us. And quite frankly, we were curious.
Impulsive.
Anything further?
It's over.
You understand that in mushrooms, that's what somebody told you when they gave them to you, but there could be anything in there.
Yes, sir, you're right.
I mean, people put different stuff in different nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right.
I've got clients and friends that aren't here on planet Earth right now because they took something experimental and it didn't turn out so well.
Yes, sir, you're correct.
And that could have happened to you. It could have happened. It could have happened to you and the children's mother, correct?
Me and the children's mother?
That's you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And Mr. Wilder was there with you. You've already said that. Was there anybody else?
It's Wilden, and no, it was just him and I.
And who got the mushrooms?
I'm not at liberty to say that. I am not too sure. I just know it was gifted.
Who brought them into the home? Who brought them into your home?
It was Christopher and I.
Well, did somebody give him to Mr. Wilden and bring him in, or give him to you and bring him in?
I assume someone gave them to Christopher.
Okay. And again, this is all appropriate as long as we don't meet in the hallway. The kids and Mr. Wilden.
I don't understand how that has relevancy here when we experimented with the shrooms while my kids were 18 miles away.
I've got a quick question for you guys, because I'm listening to this and I'm like, why does he keep on bringing up the hallway thing? I'm assuming he's saying that because I think I heard him ask, why are you trying to keep your kids away from your boyfriend, right? And she says, because our divorce isn't finalized yet, but they drink around the kids. So if they're drinking around the kids, isn't he seeing the kids? You know? Let me talk to Miss Coffee, our AI assistant barista, Miss Coffee. Miss Coffee, there is a topic that keeps coming up from the attorney representing the father. He keeps on saying, as long as the wife's boyfriend doesn't meet the kids in the hallway. And I get what he's saying, but I'm a bit confused here because from what I hear, she confirms that they drink around the kids. So doesn't he see the kids anyways? Because she claims that she's keeping them away from him until the divorce is final. Bit confused about that. Or is that the whole point he's trying to point out, right? Is like, how are you hiding the kids if you're drinking around them? I don't know. Help me understand this.
You're not confused. You're hearing the contradiction exactly right. And yes, that's the entire point the father's attorney is trying to expose. Let me break it down cleanly. What the attorney means by not meeting them in the hallway. The wife is claiming this. Her boyfriend sleeps over. He is in the same house as the children. But somehow he doesn't interact with them.
Oh, come on. Really?
Because they're asleep, in rooms, or don't cross paths. So when the attorney keeps repeating as long as they don't meet in the hallway, he's being sarcastic on purpose. He's saying, you're asking the court to believe this man lives in the house, drinks there, sleeps there, but magically never encounters the kids.
Right.
Why the drinking part matters? Yes, she admits they drink while the kids are present. That's the contradiction. If he's there at night, they're drinking, the kids are in the same house, then he is present during parenting time.
Right.
He is influencing the environment. He is part of the household, whether she admits it or not. You don't need direct eye contact for that to matter legally. What the attorney is really proving. He's not trying to show. He shook the kids' hands. He's trying to show. This man is embedded in the home. He is part of the children's environment. She's playing word games to minimize that. That's why the hallway line keeps coming up. It's a reductio ad absurdum argument. He's exposing how unrealistic her claim is. Why the judge ultimately agrees.
You see, I was actually thinking there's no way she's trying to say that the kids are in the same house and she just tells him to go hide and he never interacts with them, right? There's just no way. All right, let's keep listening. Now he's talking about how he brought the mushrooms over into her home.
18 miles away. So I don't understand how the hallway has context here.
He brought them into your home, and he talked you into using them. What's to stop him from using them at any time?
He did not talk me into using them. I agreed.
What's to stop him from using them any time? Address my question.
I understand that. What's to stop my husband from picking up just at any time?
Well, he doesn't.
It's all speculation.
He doesn't apparently have a history of it. We're not talking about it, are we?
No, we're not.
I mean, he doesn't have a history of that. Is that correct?
That's true.
That's you, correct?
I do not have a history of use. I've experimented one time.
And you wouldn't call that a history of use?
I think that's a very loose way to use the word history.
Is it fair to say that with the photo shoot, different things you've got going on with the affair, that you're kind of got a midlife crisis going on here?
I can see how someone might think that on the outside, but I also think you have to look at the hard facts. I'm still running 2 profitable businesses. I still have a team of staff members who worship me, who are willing to testify to my character.
Did she just say worship? Cut it out. Hey, somebody's in the audience like, chill, right? This is when you're supposed to be crying about how, we need some tears. This isn't working. You're supposed to be crying about how unsafe you feel. She's over here talking about, I have a staff of employees that worship me. Do you think I give an F about what you or my husband thinks? Evil shit.
And I also have a community of people that are also willing to testify to my character. I pay my bills on time. I'm never late. I run my businesses flawlessly, and I treat my kids with kindness and respect and provide for them.
I understand that's what you're saying, but while you're doing that, according to you, and you're doing all the other things that you're doing, what's wrong with leaving the kids in what I understand to be basically the main home that they know with their father at this time, while you go do whatever you want to do?
There's a difference between leaving them in a physical residence and saying that's going to comfort them compared to letting them spend time with the woman who has basically solely reared them for the last 8.5 years, educated, clothed them, spent time with them, provided for them.
And again,
Mr.
ma'am,
Valdez was
I know
never
that
their
you
main rearer.
I know that you say that, but you yourself have admitted 26 out of 33 days.
I did not admit to that. That is inaccurate.
Well, you've admitted there's a lot of times that you're taking trips and things like that.
I did not admit to that. That's purely speculation. I said we've taken 2 trips, if you don't remember, Mr. Hawley. One was a camping trip that lasted 18 hours, and it was 48 minutes away. I clocked it while I was out at recess. The other one was a day trip, hiking trip, and we were gone for maybe 7 hours, and that one was an hour and a half away. So I failed to see these grandiose trips that you're referring to.
Since you've been separated from Mr. Valdez, though, you've not even come close to 50-50, have you?
I would say it's been about a 60-40, 65-35. But that's also because I work nights and I work 3 jobs right now to provide for my kids while he works from home. He has the luxury of being with them more often.
Well, good.
That I understand. Thank you. Nothing further.
Please, anything further?
Hang on.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Let's meet the boyfriend. Is that who's coming on? Is this a good idea? Look at this dude's hair. Hey, you guys know I used to have a frohawk. I hate to admit it. I really do. I really do. I hate to admit it. I can't believe I look this stupid. I'm sorry to all my frohawk
Mr. Wilden,
watchers.
could you please state your full name for the court?
Christopher Ryan Wilden.
Mr. Wilden, what can you tell the court about your criminal history?
It started when I was about 19 years old, and it ended about 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. Petty thefts, possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia, controlled substance. So,
And how long have you been sober for now?
She bought him a nice sweater. She's like, "You're going to wear this today."
5 years.
From which substances?
The only thing I do is drink alcohol. So, I mean, you're talking anything besides ibuprofen.
I haven't done. No, let me stop. Man's an addict who needs help, probably.
And what kind of program did you go through once you were released from prison?
So, part of my agreement when I came out of jail, because this last time I finally decided to change, I went through Indiana and cleared up all my charges up there, cleared my charges down here. And on my last charge, I was going to be sentenced to do 3 years. I'd never asked for drug court or any type of rehabilitation, never been in any or anything. And, my real goal was to get back to my daughter. So I went through a drug program, a success rate. So what happened was I got out. When I first got out, I had 3 tests a week. I had 5 meetings I had to hit a week. I had a therapist, 2 pastors, and it was class after class after class after, family classes. It was MRT classes. It was, I did it all. Journey to Freedom class.
So in your opinion, have you turned your life around?
Absolutely.
And do you have any minor children of your own? You said?
Yeah, my daughter's not.
And Mr. Walden, what has been the extent of your interaction with Miss Valdez's minor children?
None. She's had Sage taking therapy, and she stopped by my work, and he was with her, but that was it. There's no interaction.
And when you stated that you drank alcohol, how frequent is that?
3 nights a week, 2 nights a week, a couple of Coronas here and there.
Do you do that in the presence of the 3 minor children that I just referred to? Okay. And what do you do for a living now?
So I'm a barber. I do a lot of stuff. I'm a barber. I'm actually getting ready to start a nonprofit organization to help guys that are in long-term recovery, either get certificates or get careers or to if they want to start their own business and they need lawnmowers. I'm in the middle of learning how to grant write, so I can actually, that's the progression of it. Like I cut hair for a living, but more realistically, I want to be able to give back to the community and things where I've been.
So is your business doing well?
Yeah,
Are you generating a
absolutely.
profit?
I've been in business about a year right now, professionally. Like I've had my license since July of last year.
Guys, just keep in mind that if you were the husband, you'd have funded this man's business. Like, let that just sink in.
I have almost 100 5-star reviews. I got 1 4-star review, and I've got over 600 clients that I take care of a month.
And do you do any local volunteer work?
Yeah. I work with Nashville Cares. We do, they hand out they do a needle exchange. So they bring in dirty needles, you give them clean needle. It's a HIV and HEP prevention is what they do. Along with testing. I got test kits coming to the shops where I hand out test kits to people that may need it. That's different rehabs, halfway houses, people I know. I mean, because I'm really close in contact with the jail and with the recovery court, with Sumner County Drug Coalition. So I'm in ties with all of them, and I'm able to provide services that not every, because I'm a barber, I know everybody, And middle of next month, I got granted to go into the jail and start cutting hair every other week for the indigent guys, the guys that have no money on their commissary. And that's going to be on a podcast. They're going to allow me to podcast it. So, I'm not even allowed back into the jail that I came out of.
So do any of your past criminal history, does any of that have to do with children or hurting children? Okay.
No. Batteries, no, nothing like that.
And Mr. Weldon, recently, have you done mushrooms with my client?
So don't object. That's asked and answered. He already testified all he's taken is an ibuprofen.
I'm asking him directly.
Overruled.
Yes, I have.
And can you tell the court what the occasion was or why you decided to do that?
It's basically, it's a spiritual opening to deal with some of the stuff that internally has just kind of squandered me or been shameful to me.
After you did that, did you?
There are people who actually benefit from, I have my stance, but I've definitely heard that take before.
Relapse?
No.
And do you have any intention on doing it again?
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
When you did it, were the minor children present?
No.
To what extent has my client, Ms. Valdez, used any business expenses on you?
On me, I don't think any. I think the only thing that she ever used it on was a hotel when he kicked her out of the house.
Did you reimburse her for that?
Anything that we've ever done together, I give her money for, reimburse her, yes.
Did
the
she?
Hotel, I don't think I paid for anything on the hotel because that was something that she had to have a place to stay anyways. So.
Did my client help you purchase a motorcycle?
Yeah.
Okay, to your knowledge, was that used from the business account, those expenses?
No.
I don't have anything further, Your Honor.
Fine. Charlie, you may cross-examine.
Here we go. Here we go.
Mr. Wilden, I thought I heard you say earlier that you didn't take, all you took was an ibuprofen. Was that your testimony earlier?
As far as relapsing on what I'd previously been addicted, yes, I don't use.
What were you previously addicted?
Methamphetamines, Adderall.
Okay. That's not mushrooms now, is it?
No, it's not a daily thing. It's not a weekly thing. It's not a, I don't wake up in the morning taking mushrooms, but there are places where it is legal to wake up daily and take mushrooms.
Where's that at?
Colorado.
Okay.
He thought, see, You know a whole lot about mushrooms, don't you? Look at the judge. Yo, have you been to Colorado? How do you know?
I just got back from Colorado, and it is legal there. So.
You planning on moving to Colorado?
No, sir.
Let me clarify. It is legal for some people there in Colorado, not for me.
All right, so you brought mushrooms. Did you get the mushrooms?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how did you get them? Did you buy them or?
Yeah.
Okay, so they weren't gifted, you bought them?
No.
How much did you pay for them?
$60.
Did Mrs. Valdez chip in on it?
No.
Did she pay for any of it?
No.
So she bought you a banner, correct, for your business?
Yeah.
So she did use a business expense for you, correct?
Wasn't aware that was from the. Now, mind you, everything that comes from profitable from Drip Fade is going to be split with Miss Valdez and has been up to this point.
I'm sorry?
Anything profitable from that is going to go 50-50 to her.
So y'all starting your own little business?
Oh, this is good.
As far as the products, yes.
Yeah. She trying to close down Giggles and Glam to make that not worth anything from the marriage and get you started in your own haircutting business?
I think that's the other side doing that, not Miss Valdez.
You cut kids' hair?
Yes, sir.
Do they know?
Do you have a vape when you cut kids' hair?
Yeah, my vape sits out.
Yeah.
And it's actually normally in a basket, but yes, it has sat out on the counter when I come back in. But normally I have a basket that I bring with me that I keep all my personal belongings in, and it's underneath.
And you're not opposed to doing drugs again, from what I'm hearing. Is that what I heard you testify to?
I said I wouldn't be opposed to doing shrooms again.
Something that enchambers you? That's what I thought I heard you say?
No, I said what it does is it allows me to deal with some of the things that I've done with that happened to me in my past.
I'm fighting demons. That's not stuff you want to say when people are wondering if you should have custody of kids. Guys, it's just the truth.
It's more of a spiritual thing rather than just I'm trying to get messed up.
That's what they all say.
So you're on some sort of spiritual quest to do mushrooms to help out your psychological issues? Is that what I'm hearing?
No.
What am I hearing then?
We all have childhood trauma and things we dealt with when we were younger that don't get brought up in our general day-to-day. And then able to process that, sometimes you experience things in life. What's a spiritual awakening through AA and NA?
Well, you're using drugs to get awakened, I guess is what you're saying.
No, sir.
And you spend just about every night with Miss Valdez at her place?
Yeah, most nights.
You call that your home?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That where you live?
I walked in, it felt exactly like home.
Is that where you live?
No, I have an address at 2525 Leeville Pike.
Do you pay any of the bills with Miss Valdez?
Nope, we discussed it.
Do y'all just have a deal where you bring in shrooms and drugs and things like that, and then you get a motorcycle?
Yo, why is this funny as hell? This shit's hilarious. Yeah, this attorney's good. He's like, you guys have a little agreement. You supply the drugs, she supplies a place for you to sleep.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Serving up that coffee.
I'm going to object, Your Honor, as being argumentative.
Oh, Judge, that's a fair question. If he's bringing in shrooms to Miss Valdez, you know, is it one of these deals where you're bringing in shrooms to Miss Valdez and she's buying you a motorcycle or giving you a loan for a motorcycle?
And when Miss Valdez left her house and wasn't allowed to take anything from her own house.
Mr. Wilder, I'm asking a specific question.
No, sir. No,
Did
sir.
you swap the shrooms for anything with the motorcycle?
No, sir. No, sir.
Is there a domestic on your record?
No.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
You ever been arrested for domestic assault?
Mm-mm.
You ever been arrested or charged with any assaults?
Mm-mm. No.
Are you on probation in any way right now?
No, sir.
I'm sorry, what was your answer?
No, sir.
So what would you think that they would say at court if they knew you were taking shrooms right now?
They'd probably recommend me to get some classes or or do something like that, they'd ask what was going on. Actually, they'd probably ask me what was going on with me and why I was doing it first. And then I would explain it to them. And some people don't understand and don't agree with it. And some people do, and I don't. I'm not waking up every morning craving shrooms. You can't.
I'm sorry, you can't?
You can, but it doesn't do anything. If you microdose, it's actually proven to change the way your brain fires. And
You said you had 2 to 3 drinks a night, correct?
2 to 3 drinks every few nights.
2 to 3 drinks every 2 to 3 nights?
I'd say 3 or 4 nights a week. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 2 or 3 drinks 3 to 4 nights a week now?
That's what I said originally.
Okay. Ms. Valdez says more like 5 or 6, then would that be accurate?
Somewhere in there.
Y'all have a drink every night?
What's that?
Y'all drink every night?
No, sir.
You drink when the kids are there, correct?
Because the kids are in bed, if they're there. I don't see the kids, but yes.
You're sleeping in the same, apartment? Or is it a house?
Yes, sir.
House or apartment?
House.
You're sleeping in the same house with these kids every night?
They're not there every night.
Well, every night that they're there, are you sleeping with them in the same house? Not with them, but sleeping with the same house?
Majority.
You ever encourage Mrs. Valdez to get a knife?
Yeah.
As the victor and go take home?
Be safe.
The effing spoils?
Yeah.
Making this dude sound like a Viking. Get a knife. Take home the spoils. That's his solution.
Or post that?
Absolutely.
What do you mean by that?
To be safe, to watch her back. Look what's happening.
You understand what your post said? To the victor comes the effing spoils. Time to get out your knife. That's pretty close.
Be prepared. Absolutely. You're always prepared.
Bring home the spoils. What spoils are you talking about?
Go out there for victory and win.
Win what?
His assets. His assets. Take him to the cleaners. Clear him out. Clean him up.
Win live. Win it live. Don't be a victim.
A victim of what?
Anything. Don't have a victim's mentality. Don't be a victim. Yes,
are you aware
absolutely.
that she took a knife to the house of Mr. Valdez?
Yeah, I was also aware she was backed into a corner and touched on too.
Well, you're aware she took a knife, took your advice, and did that.
She wears a knife to work on Mondays and Fridays too.
Why?
She's out at dark. Look at her. Look how big she is. If somebody's backed you in a corner, wouldn't you protect yourself or tell your daughter to protect herself or your wife? You wouldn't?
And just to be crystal clear, you're testifying you are a barber.
Yes, sir.
Master barber.
Yes, sir.
And you cut kids' hair.
Yes, sir.
How many heads of hair do you cut a week over at Giggles and Glam?
Oh, only like 5 or 6. Is that from
Did
noon,
they
to,
know,
from noon to 3?
Did they know about your history while you're cutting the kids?
Hold on, I have to adjust myself. I knew that question was coming.
Hair, the parents?
I'm not opposed to telling.
You're taking shrooms?
I'm not opposed to telling.
She told me to not. I'm sorry, guys. This is going so bad. I'm not. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, guys. I can't help it. This is going so bad. I'm not supposed to tell him. She told me not to say shit. What?
You're not opposed to
How do you think everybody found out?
Do you think that's
about my
good for
history?
business?
Absolutely. Somebody's come back that had a 3% chance of coming back and did.
It did mushrooms last week?
Am I shooting behind a trash can? No, sir. Am I stealing? Am I lying? Am I cheating? No. No, I'm not afraid to tell anybody what I've went through and what I've went through and where I'm at.
Nothing further.
Just real quick, when you said that you were having a few drinks while you were at Miss Valdez's home, are you ever so inebriated that you can't help if anything?
Object to the leading question.
How intoxicated do you get when you're at Miss
The
Valdez's
rule on
home?
your objection sustained. Go ahead.
How intoxicated do you get when you're at Miss Valdez's home?
I mean, it's 3 or 4 beers. It's not very intoxicated at all. I can coherently do anything I do generally. I can cut hair. I can talk. I can write. I can do math and calculus. I mean, I don't get inebriated at all. It's not inebriation.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you.
Well, not very intoxicated, but you are intoxicated.
At my home?
If you're calling Miss Valdez's home your home, yes.
Yeah, at home, yes. I'm not driving. I'm not putting kids in car. I'm not.
You're missing my
I'm not
question.
even interaction with kids.
You're not very intoxicated, but you are intoxicated, is what your testimony is today with the children in the home, Ms. Valdez.
As intoxicated as 3 or 4 beers will get you.
Nothing further.
You testified a moment ago that you had been sober for 5 years. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So what is your definition of sobriety?
Right.
Everybody's recovery is a little bit different. For me, alcohol was never a problem. Mushrooms was never a problem. Marijuana was never a problem. I don't smoke marijuana. My qualities as an addict are not bad qualities. It's just where are they focused? It's a perseverance and a drive to chase something and to go further and to be better. But at one point, that's not what it was.
You're cooked, buddy. You're cooked.
It was chasing that drug and that high all the time.
Well, now, you testified about your extensive background in your criminal history, and obviously you've been through quite a few different situations, went to prison or jail for a period of time, I think.
Yes, sir.
Did you cause you any concern about introducing, you realize mushrooms, whether they're legal in another state or not, they're
Right.
patently illegal in the state of Tennessee.
Yes.
Did it cause you any concern or have any misgivings about introducing mushrooms into Miss Valdez or her home?
I think the biggest concern is that I don't want to get anybody in legal trouble, that myself included, or her.
But you brought illegal substances into her home.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's my cause of concern. If I had any cause of concern about it, is that I was.
All right, thank you. You may step down.
Thank you.
You may call your next witness.
Vincent Valdez, Your Honor.
Oh, husband is here. Whoa, okay, here we go.
You are Vincent Valdez, correct?
Yes.
You're married to Mrs. Valdez over here, correct?
Yes.
How long have you been married?
Unfortunately.
11 and a half years. It'll be 12 years in January.
Did you want this divorce and this separation?
No.
Did you make that plain to her?
Yes.
How so?
That's one of the reasons I think Leah left that week, is just because every day I was trying to talk to her. And me and Leah's history is very religious. We met at Bible college.
As I was listening to her testimony, I said, she sounds like one of those very religious girls, which all due respect to y'all, who felt like she never had a boyfriend until she had her first boyfriend, and then she got married, and she never had sex until she got married, and she never did anything because it was against her religion, whatever. And then she just let loose. Not saying that that's okay. I'm just saying that's what it sounded like to me because of how she's acting now, which is not okay. I'm just putting the dots together. That's all I'm saying.
She was...
No. She has a good point right there, and I get it, right? Guys, there's nuance to life, and this does happen, right? There are people who think to themselves, oh, I haven't lived, and they wish they could go do all the stuff that they weren't allowed to do. Now, people take two extremes to that. So people would be like, oh, so are you saying that everyone needs to go and be a 304? No, of course not. It's people are saying, oh, every girl in the church does that. Of course not. You know, the all people of all men are bad, right? And then men are like, no, not all men are bad, or all women are like this. It's never true with a all statement. Most, okay, you can make an argument maybe for something like that. That's just a point I want to make. Let's keep watching.
In the mission field, beginning of our relationship, I played for a worship leader. We were both in ministry at different times. I say that to say, after I found out about the affair, I asked her if she would be willing to give Jesus a chance in our marriage, because I know that God can heal marriages. And she said no. And I did numerous things that week to try to get her to see that it's best for our family to stay together. Because Leah was a good mother. She is right when she says that she was a good mother, but her actions lately have been manic and completely upside down. Like, I don't even recognize the person that I see.
So you're testifying you feel like there's some sort of transformation with her right now?
Yes. I mean, it's whether it's mental, spiritual, or everything. I mean, you can ask employees, people who know her, who have distanced themselves from her. The way she talks. Leah, I think I can count on one hand how many times Leah cussed our entire marriage. The person I see now is a completely different person. That's why I'm concerned about my children. That's why I'm concerned about them being there.
How old are you?
I am 34.
How old is she?
35.
What's your current address?
Tennessee 37029.
And how long have you lived there?
A little over 2 years.
All right. And is this a home that you always shared with Miss Valdez?
Yes, we bought it together. And up until August, we lived there together.
Okay. And how many children do you have?
We have 3.
There's no chance she's winning custody. I can already tell, because it's not like he's even coming at this from the perspective of, I mean, this is like such a genuine angle. Like, you sense that he genuinely looks at her and feels like she's effing the family up and screwing up her life. It's very genuine, right? That's the sense here. It doesn't sound like he's trying to accuse or frame the situation in any particular way. He's just like, hey, even saying that she actually was a good mom. I don't know what's happening to her. I don't know who this person is. You know, people change. She might be spiraling, and who knows what's happening mentally. Microdosing, a lot of people usually don't understand the effects of drugs on some people. If you've experienced it, comment down below. And again, you have people who just cannot believe that anything can affect somebody differently. I'm not saying that's what's happening here. I'm just adding a bit more information to that specific point. I'm not stressing it because I think that's the most likely thing. I just know that's the thing that, you know, people get agitated when you talk about their vice or choice of drug, whatever you want to call it.
And what are their ages?
River is 8, Noble is 6, and Sage is 2.
Are they able to get on the internet? Do you know, the 8-year-old?
They can get on the internet. We don't really allow that. I'm assuming you're referencing this photo shoot. My main concern is not them right now, but there's been plenty of cases where high school peers bully other kids by showing them, hey, look what I saw about your mom. Like, this is your mom. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to see photos of my mom like that.
Right.
I mean, that's at the very least, that's therapy. I mean, there's been kids that have themselves over stuff like that.
Do you, this home that's there now, the two of you own that home, correct?
Yes.
This business, Giggles and Glam, how was that set up?
It's 50-50. We're both 50-50 owners of it.
Is it an incorporation?
We started a holdings company.
Okay.
And then
what's the name of the holdings company?
Valdez Holdings.
Okay. And it was a 50-50 in the holdings company?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else in the holdings company?
No, just Giggles and Glam.
All right. So being a 50% owner of the business of Giggles and Glam, are there concerns that you have about the current management?
Absolutely.
Under Mrs. Valdez?
Absolutely.
Tell the court what you're concerned
We've
about.
lost almost half of our staff. I found this out afterwards because they started reaching out to me. She's recommending business to a competitor, her boyfriend. Not only that, but her current behavior in using our business credit card to better her boyfriend's business. Now I know that it's her business as well, could put our business in jeopardy. And when I took that money, I told her that, and I let her know that. I can go into that if you want, but when I took that money, I sent her a text. You have a screenshot of it, and it said, "I'm taking $5,000." And I said, if this affects our payroll for any of our employees, I'd be more than happy to help with that, with the exception of your boyfriend. If I'd be more than happy to help with the business credit card payments, with the exception of these personal charges I see you're putting on there. All I ask for is profit and loss statements and records to back it, and I'd be more than happy to help. But that's when she started threatening me and sending me, voice memos and stuff like that.
Okay. And hear me.
You sounds pretty fair. What do you guys think so far? Definitely sounds like she was the more dominant person in the relationship. So for him to start kind of setting boundaries to this extent to her was like, who the F do you think you're talking to?
I do want to play for you a voice recording and ask you if you recognize that recording.
How would the business go under when I am running it the same as I always have been? You obtuse mother. Do you understand me? If you want to start a war with me, start a war with me, Vince. I can contact Donna today. I can get a restraining order against you today. You will never see the kids again. I will tell them how mentally and emotionally you've been, how I feared for my life when I was living in the house with you, and that's why I got a rental so soon. You will never see the kids again. I will take alimony from you. I will take $900 a month in child support away from you.
Yeah.
I will also take your retirement account in order to support myself. So if you want to run this, run it. If you want to start a war, start it, because I swear to friends, I have been very patient with you. I have been very kind with you. But if you are going to leverage the business that I built and that I know how to run, and you know about running it, do it, Vince.
I want you guys to really listen to my future husbands, soon to be engaged. Maybe you're proposing soon. You don't know what the future holds. Imagine being spoken to like this. A woman telling you what she's going to do with you. And she's a lot smarter than this chick. She's not going to go the felon route, right? She's actually going to present herself as the real victim, stable. This is what it takes for a man to win custody. Primary custody. Physical and legal custody. But imagine you're being told this right now before you decide to get a prenup. Imagine that. And imagine you decide to get the prenup instead of being scared to bring up that difficult conversation. And if you don't know how to have that conversation, I have a full script at fathershaverights.com. And you wouldn't have to worry about being threatened. She's talking about, I will take your retirement. I will take alimony from you. You will be done.
I'm giving you an hour to redeposit that money. And if you do not redeposit that money, I'm calling into the cops. I'm putting a restraining order on you, and I'm calling Donna and telling her to redraft the MDA where I get 100% custody of the kids. And I swear to you, Vince, if there is a restraining order on file against you where I have felt unsafe for my life and threatened by you, which I do, you will never see the kids again. You can move to Texas all you want at that point because you will never get them again. Do you understand me? I will move heaven and earth to take you down in this divorce if this is the you decide to play. You have 1 hour to deposit that money, or I swear to God, Vince, I'm calling the cops and telling them how unsafe I feel around you and how mentally and emotionally you've been and how you pushed me up against the wall in the bathroom my last day in that house, and I had to tell you to get off me 3 times. Do you want to be arrested in front of your kids, Vince? Because that I can make that happen. Watch me.
Damn.
Who was that on that recording?
That was Leah, my wife.
Okay. And when did she tell you she was having an affair?
I found out, and she didn't tell me at first. She gave me the divorce papers on a Sunday. I found out on a Tuesday from my brother. And when I asked her, she did tell me she was having an affair. And then by that Saturday, she had moved out.
You know, she's saying you gave her like an hour to get out and all that kind of stuff. Can you explain to the court your side of that story?
Yeah, our account of that is a lot different than the week I got back. Well, let's just say my best friend from Bible school had just taken his life. So I went down to Dallas for the funeral for that. The week I got back, I noticed that Leah was kind of cold to me, and we were getting into, small tiffs, but she wasn't talking to me. That Friday, she had told me she wasn't in love with me anymore. And I was completely blindsided. Leah's always had a very high, strong value for marriage and family. And I also didn't know she was having an affair, but I said, well, I want to fight for our marriage. We have a lot to fight for. Do you want to fight for our marriage? And she said, I don't know. At the time, I had a lot of trust in my mother-in-law. So I said, I think it's best then for you to go to your mom's house until you figure out if you want to fight for our marriage. If you will go there, she will ask you, is he cheating on you? And the answers are no. And she'll tell you to come back and we will work this out. And I said, I'm going to go get dinner. I think it'd be best for you to go to your mom's house when I get back. I did not want her to leave permanently. I wanted to, I did not know about the affair. I was trying to just wake her up because this doesn't seem like the person I married. But she did come back Sunday, and then she stayed again until that Saturday. And that's when she left. And that was against my wishes. I didn't want her to leave.
She made it sound like she was running for her life. You know, like he was like, if you don't leave in an hour, I'm going to get you. Right.
Did you threaten her or do anything physical to her during that time frame? What's she talking about?
Not our accounts, again, are different on that. What happened when it comes to that bathroom thing. Leah had been coming for a week and just cook. She would cook and leave. And then on a Friday, she came and cooked and stayed and ate with us. And at the time, I still wanted reconciliation on our marriage, even though she was having an affair. We were joking with each other. She was laughing. We went to the bathroom. She was putting something away. And I was making her laugh. And I made a move to give her a hug, a kiss, whatever she would let me do. And she put her hand up and said, no. Our daughter was not standing right behind us. She was not looking at us. She was in the next room on an iPad, but she was not behind us. And when she said no, I said, I'm sorry. I said, I don't want to push you away. And I said, are we okay?
She just let her go. But again, you know, the man's trying to fight for his family. You know, he wants to tell his kids he tried. Understandably so. I think there comes to a point where if you're begging, which it doesn't sound like that, the more you beg, the more people tend to push you away.
Actually, I asked her, I think, twice. I was like, are we okay? And she's like, yeah, we're okay. 20 minutes go by. I'm playing with the kids. And she goes out and gets on the phone. I assumed it was her boyfriend, and now I know it is. As soon as she came in, completely different person, yelling at me, saying she's never coming back. And, you know, that's my account of that story.
And at that point, she left?
Yes.
And now, instead of her mother's, where do we know she went?
Well, she was she was still sleeping at her new house. But I have never been physical with Leah in any way, forceful towards her at any point. You know, again, our story is not this today. Me and Leah waited till marriage to have sex. Like we are like.
Wow. Waited till marriage to have sex. This caption says, I knew it. This lady feels repressed. In my opinion, unfortunately, she waited too long. Ma'am, you have kids now.
Lives is not this. And the person that is here today is not the person that I've known for the last 15 years.
Is that a concern for her around your children right now?
Yes. I mean, the fact that she's letting a guy who just said he's willing to take more mushrooms around our children is extremely concerning. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I've never smoked weed. I'll take a test right now if you want me to. I do not want my kids around that man. I don't. And as long as Leah is going to live this lifestyle, I am going to fight for as much custody of those kids as I can.
Where's that $10,000 at? I mean, you said you gave $5 back. Where's the other $5?
It's back. It's actually there. Got there this morning.
Based on the restraining order, sent that $5,000 back, correct?
Yes.
And what was your position on this whole $10,000 to begin
Well,
with?
I actually meant to take $5,000. I initiated a withdrawal from Venmo and it didn't work. And then so I used my bank and they both went through. I sent a text to Leah. I have the screenshots for that saying, hey, I accidentally took $10,000. I'm sending $5,000 back. The next day, she still filed for $10,000 saying that I took $10,000, but I did return $5,000. The only reason I took that money is to establish that this business is 50-50. And whatever she wants to say about running the business, that's fine, but that's because I trusted her. Just like she trusted me to do my job, I trusted her. We're 50-50 owners of it, and now I don't trust her, especially with her throwing money at her boyfriend and then also, you know, building another business that's a competitor to the business that we own. We're 1 year into a 10-year loan. The loan payments are like crazy high because of interest rates. If that business goes under, I cannot afford it. I do not want that business to go under. I know that she and her boyfriend have testified, Leah and her boyfriend have testified that I'm trying to take the business down, but how would that benefit me? I would go bankrupt.
Right.
What are your concerns with Mr. Walden at the business?
Well, he's already run off 3 employees. So that's a concern right there.
3 employees?
Yeah. And then on top of that, it's just not professional. Leah is completely blinded by this man. We do have a status quo at the salon that the girls have to keep up with a certain type of appearance. We are talking about a little kid salon where they do princess makeovers and, they do birthday parties in the back and stuff like that. The reason I didn't come around the business that much is because I'm not the face of little kid salon, especially this man that she's with comes in with Crocs, a tank top that you can see his nipples through, and a vape machine. I don't think that's good for business, especially at a kid's salon. Leah is completely blinded by this man. He's completely taken advantage of her.
Shoot. Yep. That's what, unfortunately, no one wants to hear this or admit this, but women are affected differently when it comes to sex, right? The mental gets messed up. Some good pipe, I hate to be so straight up, will mess them up mentally. And seeing as how she's been a virgin and dealt with, her husband, it's dangerous as a married woman to step out because you have somebody else who puts it on you in a way that and I know some people are like, in a way that you have never experienced it before, you will turn into someone else for a different brief moment and start acting crazy. There are women who tell you this. There are women who say, I can't believe the things I put up with or did with that one individual. And the only significant factor from that one guy was the sex, right? Another reason to just stay in your marriage, because you're over here doing drugs. You might get locked up, ruin your life, lose your kids like this chick.
Are you asking the court to reconsider, these business funds? She's getting $5,000 a day and have it under some sort of security for you?
Well, right now, Leah has closed down, or she's moved all of our business funds to accounts with just her name on it, which I haven't even approached because the kids have been my number one priority. But legally, she can't keep me from the profits of our business. We're both 50-50 owners of it. But right now, I just have kind of let it slide. But to answer your question, I guess, sorry, what are you asking?
Well, my question is, are you concerned about her new lifestyle and her management with this business?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how so?
Well, she's careless. I mean, she's given me crazy amounts of stuff to use in court because she's so careless. She's being careless with me. She's been careless with the kids. She has proved over the last month and a half that the kids' safety, health, and happiness is not her top priority. It might be a priority, but it is not her top priority.
So the kids, you've heard me talk about and ask her during that time frame of 33 days. What's your testimony as to how long you had how many nights you had the children?
I've counted. Every time they come to my house, I have a note in my phone and I put down the dates. So how you got to that number is that's what I gave you. I gave you the dates that they were with me. Last Saturday or this past weekend, she asked me. She usually is supposed to have them on Saturdays. This past weekend, she asked me to take them because she was going on a trip with a boyfriend. Saturday before that, she asked me to take them. She's also asked me to take them this coming up Saturday as well. And she asked me to take them tomorrow, which is supposed to be her day, because she was going on some kind of trip, but I guess that got canceled. Every time she asks me, I always say yes, because I don't want them over there. And I have never asked her to take our kids, when I'm supposed to be having them.
Can you give the court a ballpark figure how many days, actually have had them out of those 33 days?
26 is what we came up with my notes.
So 26 of the 33 days they were with you?
Yes.
Can you care for the children?
Yes, and I have been.
How do you care for them?
I'll walk you through the day. I wake up. Sage, our 2-year-old, usually wakes up first. If it's really early, I'll kind of lay with him for a little bit, like on the couch, and let him sleep a little longer. Get the kids up at around 6:30. Make their lunch for school. Make their breakfast. We drive to school. I pray overnight.
Now, where is the school?
The school is in Kingston Springs.
And who did that?
Leah did.
And when did she do that?
It was like the week that she moved out. I've been homeschooled my entire life. I don't know anything about, the legalities of school. And she told me she was signing them up for school, and I didn't know what my rights were and stuff like that. I just knew she wasn't homeschooling anymore. So I was like, okay, I guess they're going to be in school now. I did think it was too much too soon. I mean, they've been homeschooled their whole lives, and they are having problems at school. And I can get into that, but I drive them to school, usually pray on the way to school, I drop them off. And then I have Sage, our 2-year-old, during the day. You know, he's 2, so it's just a lot of playing and changing diapers and throwing fits.
And you're capable of handling all that?
Yeah. And when we first got married, I was actually a stay-at-home dad with our oldest, because Leah was like the career person. So I'm one of 5 kids. I was homeschooled, and my younger siblings are quite younger than me. So I've been around kids a lot. But obviously, I don't wish to be a single dad, but I do think it's right now it's the best thing for our children.
That doorbell video, you know, she testified about some things that maybe you were saying or whatnot. Can you tell the court about your side of that story?
Yeah, Leah said that I think the way she said it is I just went in there and just said what I wanted to say. That's not true. We sat down before we talked to the kids. I talked to 2 different counselors. How do you talk to kids about divorce? And they both told me the same thing. You need to be honest with them.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Well, its objection is to hearsay, Mr. Hawley.
I think it's kind of non-hearsay. It's not offered for the truth of the matter asserted. The stuff is showing what he's done.
I don't believe it is being offered to prove the truth of the matter. It's more of showing why he took certain action or why he takes certain attitudes. Overruled.
The counselors told me to be honest with the kids, to say it in a way that they would understand it, to say, Mommy and Daddy are having issues. When mommies and daddies have issues, we have to take turns with kids, because kids understand taking turns. And me and Mommy both love you. We're going to be okay as a family. But right now, this is what we have to do. And I ran it by Leah before we did it, because she wanted to lie to them and not tell them the truth. And I said, this is what the counselors say. And she agreed to it. And then when we did do it, our oldest did, have a huge episode. He went up to his stairs, locked himself in his room and said, I don't want this. And he told me, Daddy, I'd rather be homeless than our family be torn apart. And then you saw him crying in the in the driveway. But I did not do anything that was, just off the top of my head. I had told Leah before we had that conversation, that was one of the last times I said, Leah, is there any pathway towards reconciliation? Because I would rather cut my foot off right now than have this conversation with our kids. I was not trying to hurt them. This entire time, I've been trying to protect our children from the trauma that is inevitable.
Where do you work?
I work for a running shoe company called Ultra. It's owned by VF, Vanity Fair. They own like the North Face, Smartwool, JanSport.
What's your job title?
I'm a sales rep. I'm in charge of Tennessee, Kentucky, and like half of Mississippi.
What would you say your monthly income is?
On the calculations we did, the form that you made me fill out, I think the gross was like $7,500 a month, but net was like $5,500 a month. After all expenses and all the medical expenses and all the deductions, I like my take home at the end of the month is like $300 something, like that actually is not accounted for. That's including the mortgage that I've been paying by myself now.
Are you capable of caring for the children if the judge allows you to be the primary parent? You're asking for that. Are you capable of caring for the children under your schedule?
Yes. I did want to make one point as well, going back from earlier. I have not, besides that money I took out a few weeks ago, that was targeted. It wasn't just me doing something out of nowhere. I have not seen profits from our business that Leah is living off of since June profits. So July, August, and then now Leah has seen 100% of those profits of the business that we both own.
You feel like that's going to pay for motorcycles?
Well, it's definitely not hurting. I mean, she seems to be taking out a lot of debt, which again proves carelessness. I think she just thinks that we're going to get divorced in 30 days and she's going to get a bunch of money so she can pay all this stuff off. But, I think giving almost $4,000 to a man and also planning your whole life around a man you've known for 2 months with the history that he has is very careless.
Okay, have you learned now that when your kids are there?
Caption on screen says, I agree. This lady is Delulu if she thinks she's getting full primary custody, in my opinion.
Spending the night. Did you know that?
No. Well, I figured because he posts photos of her house and it's at night and it's when the kids are there. So I guess, the answer is yes, I knew. Wasn't happy about it.
What concerns does that cause you?
Well, if it tells you anything, me and Leah, up until, well, I'm still this way, but we have not been sleepover parents. We don't let our kids go to other kids' house. We are very, very, very protective of our children. Earlier that, even this year, we as you do when you're talking to your spouse, Leah would say things like, if something ever happened to you, I don't think I would get remarried while the kids are in the house, because I wouldn't trust any other man around our kids. And now she's choosing this man to potentially trust around our kids. And again, that just, to me, it shows a complete change in, moral character. The only things I know about him is what I've learned today. He has a history of, not a great history. He is okay with smoking in the car that my kids drive in, and his moral compass is broken because he's knowingly sleeping with a married woman. And to me, as a father, that's enough for me to say, I don't want my kids around you.
Right.
I'll show you a video and ask you if you recognize this. It's a video with your wife.
I turned the sound off for this portion because there's music in the background. This is a TikTok where she's reacting to her boudoir.
Is she like in whoa, she's on. Are you guys seeing this on screen?
Photos or whatever, and I don't know if the music is copyrighted or not, so I just turned it off. But these are her spicy pics, and this is a TikTok apparently, and I kind of want to go find her TikTok now and go look at it. But yeah, there's no complete nudity or anything, but
we'll get demonetized.
No one wants to see pics of their mom like that, but Pam Anderson has kids. What are you going to do?
I don't object this to relevance. I don't see what the point is that we're trying to make here. We've already talked about the videos. We know that she took them. They don't have anything related to the kids or the business.
What is the relevance, Mr. Hawley?
The relevance is the kids, as he testified to, old enough to get on the internet. They're old enough to see this. Other kids are definitely old enough to get on the internet and old enough to see this. This was, and he will testify and connect this up, that this was taken off of the internet. This is where people can go and see that are proposing to do business with Giggles and Glam, the manager of Giggles and Glam, with this type of activity going on. And it's not conducive for that type of business. And the funds that she spent on this, she testified she spent approximately $2,800. But yet, when we start to add some of this math up like we're going to do, none of that adds up unless you take the profits of Giggles and Glam, which is half his, to do this type of activity.
I want to overrule the objection because under 36.6106, as far as the determining the primary residential parent status, which is what I'm having to decide today, numbers 8 of those factors that are set forth is the moral, physical, mental, and emotional fitness of each parent as it relates to their ability to parent the child. I'm not saying that I concur with what Mr. Hawley is arguing as far as this goes, but he has every right to present the evidence that he thinks is relevant, and under that statutory guideline, it would be relevant at least on that factor. Again, not stating that I agree that that is a significant or compelling, but I am allowing him to present his evidence. Overrule the objection.
Can I state that Leah said that was on TikTok? It's on Instagram and Facebook as well. It's not private. I didn't know she was going to do that ahead of time because I have access to her email and she knows that. I told her about it. I asked.
That's a joint email, correct?
Well, yes. I mean, Leah's. The Valley Cleaning Service and Valdez Holdings are both, Valdez Holdings especially, but both set up underneath my Apple ID, saving passwords to my Apple ID. Also, my personal email is a backup for the Valley Cleaning Service. I only know that because when she changes her email, I can see it, and they ask me, is it okay that this email has been changed? So they are connected. But when this photo shoot happened, I asked her, could you please keep this private? I know you're going to do it, and I know you're probably going to hand it to your boyfriend, which I'm not happy about. But can you please keep this private for the safety of our children? Don't let the studio post those publicly because I don't want our kids seeing this in the future. And obviously, she did not listen to me.
Right.
You saw that
Caption here says, to be honest, I have worse stuff online, but it was from before I had kids. Okay, so this is the
post that I introduced earlier where Mr. Walden had said, get the knives out, time for war.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you take that as a threat?
Well, definitely didn't make me feel good, but yeah, I don't know him. And what I do know of him, obviously, when something like that is posted, it doesn't usually make you feel good, especially with Leah's erratic behavior lately. When she came to the house with the cops, she told me she was coming to the house, and I asked her, would you please come tomorrow morning because our kids are here, and I don't want them to experience this. And she didn't listen to me, which to me, again, proves that health, safety, and happiness of our children is not her top priority. And when she came, the officers, I forgot what's called a civil something, they told me it's usually used for the spouse to come and get clothing, articles, things that are necessities. And when Leah came, all she was looking for was guns. She wanted my guns in the house.
No.
And she left empty-handed. But because when she tried to pick them up, the officers were like, no.
So she didn't. Well, what did she ask for specifically when she was in the house?
She came in the house. First thing she went for is I have a vault next to my bed with a little key, little number thing so the kids can't get into it. She tried opening it, but I had changed the combination because I assumed that she was going to do this, which I think is crazy because first thing about I am around police a lot just because of hobbies and stuff like that. But first thing, number one rule around police is don't grab a loaded weapon and brandish it in front of police. But luckily, she couldn't get into it, so she just picked up the whole vault and started to walk out. And I said, "You can't take that. It's registered to me." And the officers were like, "Yeah, no." And then she was like, "Okay, well, where's your AR-15?" And so she went to go look for my AR-15, and she was only looking for guns when she came to the house, which is extremely concerning for me. There's multiple reasons why you would do that, but none of them are good.
Yeah, she's losing it.
I mean, did she want any of the kids' stuff? She want any of her clothes?
No, you saw in the video, Noble went up to her to hug her. It's like Leah couldn't even see Noble. She walked right past her. Noble, our daughter, our 6-year-old.
What have you witnessed as far as the separation goes with the children, the younger ones like that? Has it been hard on them? And if so, how?
Yeah, it's in different ways. The most visible is our oldest, our 8-year-old. Every week he asks me why me and mommy can't be together. And you got to know, their whole lives they've been homeschooled. If they get sick or they're having a rough day, they just relax with mommy. But they've been majority with me. And when, our daughter's having a hard time in school, we had a parent-teacher conference last week, and they told us that Noble's been crying a lot at school. She's just not used to it. And it's so much change. I have to think it's extremely exhausting to go from being homeschooled to now you're in school and now you're going at daddy's house. And then, is mommy coming tomorrow? I don't know. They asked me that today. Are we going to be with mommy Saturday? I don't know. I don't say that, but in my mind, I'm like, well, I don't know. Depends on if she has plans with her boyfriend or not. Obviously, I'm not going to say that to my kids, but it's exhausting for them. Our 2-year-old can't sleep at her house unless he's sleeping with his older brother because he's not used to it. There was times when our 8-year-old and 6-year-old went on a camping trip with their grandpa, and she gave me our 2-year-old on days when I normally wouldn't have him because he can't sleep at her house. He's used to sleeping at our house.
That was during the separation, correct?
Yes.
So today you're asking the court to allow you to be the primary parent and be in control of the children, right?
Yes.
And to let her have a reasonable visitation.
Yeah.
Something around every other weekend or something of that nature.
Yes.
And quite frankly, that's about all she's been doing, correct? According to your testimony.
Well, it's off and on. It's not consistent. The weekends are, Saturdays specifically have been the day where she usually passes them off to me.
And when she does pass them off to you, does she tell you what she's doing?
Well, I asked her, she was supposed to go somewhere tomorrow, and she asked if I could take the kids. And that's the first time I asked, because every time I try to delve into her life at all, she just gets mad at me, or she sends me a threatening text or something. But the first time I did ask was about tomorrow, and I was like, well, where are you going tomorrow? And she's like, that's none of your business. And so I'm like, okay, I'll take the kids.
Are you asking to have no contact with Mr. Wilden?
Absolutely.
You're asking for mom to take a drug test?
Yes.
You think there's more to it than just what she's testified to?
I don't know. I mean, Leah's always, up until recently, always been very truthful, but I know that she's lied a lot about stuff. She wasn't even honest, with our lawyer about the affair until pretty far in. And when she did admit to it, it was like, oh, I slept with this guy once, and it was after we were separated, and that's not true at all. So if she's admitting to taking, mushrooms once, how do I know that's the truth?
Right. So you're asking for mom not to be able to drink alcohol or use illegal narcotics while on her visitations?
I think that's a pretty simple thing to do around kids, is not to drink alcohol. I mean, unless you're an alcoholic, you cannot drink alcohol when you're with the kids.
And she's already agreed to the possession of the marital residence.
I also don't want our kids coming home smelling like cigarettes anymore.
Explain that to the court.
Well, there's been plenty of times when
I
saw ashes on the side of her door, and the first thing I smelled is smoke. And I asked, Leah, have you been smoking? No. Well, I was like, do you let your boyfriend smoke in the car? She said, yes. Well, I was like, well, do you think you could not let him do that? We got a 2-year-old, a 6-year-old, and an 8-year-old. Our 2-year-old sleep with his little blankie every night that he's attached to. He won't sleep without it. There have been numerous times when they come to my house, I have to wash the blanket because it smells like cigarettes.
Poor dad.
And
poor
obviously
kids.
that's not preferable.
Poor
the Leah
babies,
that I knew,
man, those
if
kids.
we let our kids go somewhere like with her dad or something like that, her dad doesn't smoke. But if they came home smelling like cigarettes, that would have been it. No more time with Grandpa. But her boyfriend takes priority over even them.
Has she been a smoker?
No, not that I know of.
You're saying she just started that?
Well, I don't think she's smoking, but I don't. At the same time, I don't know. I also didn't think she was taking any kind of illegal either.
He's still like trying to protect this woman. He's still trying to protect this woman.
But
now, as far as the marital residence goes, you've asked for the exclusive possession, and
it's war, and he needs to treat it like it.
Feel like she's got everything out of the house that she will need as far as personal items, or
the only thing I know of that she wants is a dresser. And if she wants to come take that, that's fine because it was a gift to her. I prefer her not to bring her boyfriend with her to take it though, because I don't want him at the house.
Okay. And you talked to me about changing the locks, correct?
I did. Yeah. Whenever she sent me that threatening voice memo, she also sent me other threatening texts.
And you did change the locks.
I did change the locks, and I sent her a text and I said, hey, I changed the locks. If you need to come by and get anything, I will gladly let you in. You just need to let me know. And that's when she came with the cops.
And that was based on my advice to you, correct?
Yes.
Are you asking that Mr. Wilden not have any contact with the business as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that should be as big of a sacrifice as what Lee is making it out to be if he's only working there one day a week.
Are you concerned about them trying to do away with this business and start his business?
Absolutely, especially if he has a competing business not far away. She's posting on Facebook recommending his business on Moms of Hendersonville. Our business is located in Hendersonville, and she's recommending kids cuts for him.
Terrible.
How does that help our business?
Right.
And you're asking for her to give you some sort of accounting or something like that?
Absolutely. There's on our credit card, you can see, she used our credit card, our business credit card, to buy her boyfriend a banner. There's a bunch of other purchases on there that may or may not be legitimate, but I don't know. There's a lot of Amazon purchases on there. I don't have access.
Is there actually a pleading that's on the docket for today about these issues that you're now talking about?
There is. I had filed also a motion to reconsider the restraining order.
Shouldn't that be heard by Judge who issued it?
And I also filed I don't know that she's not coming back until the end of the year. And quite frankly, the restraining order is gone. As far as the meat of the restraining order, the money's already been returned. But my question would be
is that you're asking for him what all he wants, and he's talking about now banning this gentleman from the business and so forth. And I don't know that there's a pleading down in any of these motions. You have a motion for the mandatory injunction and temporary restraining order to appear and show cause, a motion to adopt a parenting plan, motion for exclusive possession of the marital residence, a motion to reconsider the temporary restraining order, and a motion to set temporary parenting plan. Nothing in that indicates to me anything regarding the business.
Judge, there is. I had filed a motion. It's entitled Motion for Ex Parte Restraining Order. The meat of the the motion talks about a restraining order and then asks for it to be signed on an ex parte basis.
And Judge Lockhart Mash declined to issue that restraining order.
On an ex parte basis, but the motion for the restraining order is still there. And I asked for it to be heard, with immediate consideration. But my understanding from these, the way they're done, the ex parte part, she declined to sign it. I wasn't given notice of the filing of the restraining order by Mrs. Valdez. When I got in, and we had talked on the phone, Ms. Tees and I had talked on the phone. She knew well that I represented her, and I didn't get a notice of that as it went into the court. I got a notice of it as it came out signed. And then I filed these things. I questioned if, Judge Lockhart Mash didn't get the other side of the story. If she would have looked at my pleadings, if she would have even signed this restraining order.
I'm simply trying to identify what we're hearing today. And if you're saying that your motion for ex parte restraining order is set for today, I don't have it on the docket, but it is a part of the file. I just didn't see a notice.
Ex parte, the husband is requesting that a restraining order be issued prohibiting the mother from removing the minor children from his care and custody pending a hearing on this matter, and further prohibiting the mother from allowing access to the party's business, namely Giggles and Glam, in any manner whatsoever. So we did address the business in there. We're talking about the mother at that
that
point.
was going to be heard today.
Well, again, the notice, and it was only because everybody's filing restraining orders. We're filing restraining orders I didn't have notice of. I know it's going to be signed and set. So I've prepared all of this to be sent in. Meanwhile, this got signed and got sent to me, in the process of filing all this stuff. But my notice did say the motion for ex parte restraining order, which is what I've entitled this motion I just read from, is expected to be introduced and filed with the court clerk for immediate consideration. And that was well within the time frame.
And it was immediately considered by Judge Lockhart Mash, and it was immediately denied. That's all I'm pointing out, is that there was no additional notice rather, that the motion was going to then be presented in court today, and that Ms. Tees would have had notice of. Well, this will be an appropriate time for cross-examination for us to take her after the recess.
Well, I mean, I know for a fact that the salon wasn't open until 1:30 a few days over the last couple of weeks, maybe more. And I would say that's lost profits.
Now, have you yourself communicated to employees of Giggles and Glams telling them the situation that's going on?
After they left. So I had some reach out to me after they had left to let me know what was going on. But I had no communication as far as enticing or trying to tell anyone what was going on before they left.
You also stated earlier that, you felt threatened by the post made by Christopher Draper that you saw on the screen over there. Isn't it true that your name was not mentioned anywhere in that post?
Yeah, it's true that my name's not mentioned on the post.
And isn't it true that the reason your wife came to collect the guns from your house was to recoup on the money that you took out of the account so she could pay her employees?
I have no idea. She could have came there to disarm me. She could have came there to give the guns to her boyfriend.
But didn't she call you beforehand and tell you that she was coming to get them?
She's coming to get the guns, but I don't know what she's taking them for.
She didn't tell you the reason?
Taking guns.
That's all she said.
I mean, I would assume that it's one of three things. She's going to recoup the cost, which I don't know how you take someone else's guns that are registered to them and then you go and sell them. But it could have been that. It could, but for all I know, with Leah's behavior lately, whatever she tells me, it could be the complete opposite. I mean, she could be giving guns to her boyfriend. She could be just keeping them so I don't have guns for some reason.
But in this case, you know that not to be true because she told you that she was coming to get the guns to recoup on the money you took from her.
I would assume so. I mean, that's what she said.
Okay.
I think, if I remember correctly.
All right. And did your wife ever consume wine while you guys were living together?
Yeah.
And that wasn't a concern for you the whole time you were married?
No, I mean, I never saw her get drunk. I don't drink, but I didn't have a problem with her drinking wine. She never consumed beer while we were married.
So now that you don't live together, you have a problem with it?
I have a problem with her taking, and then also with her behavior lately, tells me that she is not practicing self-discipline. So I don't want her drinking when the kids are there.
But during the course of your marriage, have you ever known her to be an alcoholic?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
and that's what's so concerning.
Yet you want her to be court ordered to take a hair follicle test when she has no history of this?
I mean, she literally just said she took. Why would I not want her to? And that's the one that she admitted to anyway. I don't know if there's others.
Do you think a one-time incident are the same thing, sir?
Yeah, I do.
Do you have any idea how to pay the employees of Giggles and Glam?
Not currently.
And so is it normal for you to make such a large withdrawal from the business account?
We don't think we've ever taken 10,000. Again, the goal was to take 5,000. We've definitely taken 5,000 from the business. We've taken up to, I think, 7,000 or 8,000 a month from the business. Like I said, it's not normal for me not to take money from the business for months at a time. Every month, I withdrew money from our business. And like Leah said, she would let me know the profits. I withdrew the money, and we shared all of our bank accounts, so we would put them in bank accounts. But from June profits until now, I hadn't taken anything.
Okay, and so what did you do with the 10,000? You just were leaving in your
5,000, I put it back immediately. And 5,000, I was holding.
And did your wife voice to you that she wouldn't be able to pay both of your employees if you don't put it back?
Yeah, and I actually voiced to her, let me know, give me something besides these credit card statements that I see of you just using, our business as your personal piggy bank. Give me something so that way I can help you. Because this is a 50-50 business. Even if she has been operating it, it's still a 50-50 business.
Didn't she in fact tell you that she'd be happy to provide you with an accounting?
And she never did. She just filed.
All right. Since your wife moved out of the marital residence, have your children been harmed in any way physically?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of anyway.
Since
That's good.
Since she's moved out, I mean, we've seen one video of your child crying. Does your child cry every single night?
No, it doesn't cry every single night. I think it's pretty common knowledge that divorce causes trauma to children, even if they're not crying every night.
Right.
Right. So you're saying that this is not unique for children to be upset about a divorce?
No, it's not unique. I think that this divorce is unique. I don't think it's normal. I wouldn't say it's normal to be having an affair with a felon, and the father to be concerned about that.
But your child was not crying about the affair with the felon, right? They were just crying that you guys are getting divorced.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, Judge, I have nothing further.
What? Let me ask you this question. Let's take Mr. Wilding out of the scenario. You said she was the primary caregiver and she was a pretty good mother during the time you and she were married. Take Mr. Wilding out of the situation. What concerns do you have about her being able to take care of the children?
That is the majority of the concern. I mean, the behavior change is also concerning, but I do think most of that comes with her connection with Mr. Wilden. Like I said, Leah's whole personality, everything about her has changed in the last month and a half.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
And are you the same person you were when you were 18?
I'm not, but it's a drastic change in such a short amount of time.
Well, trust me, when you get to be my age, that you're not the same person you were when you were your age right now. That life is full of changes, and sometimes people stay the course and they continue on in the same situation, even though they may change. Other times they change because something becomes more important than others.
Yeah, I think that's happened. I think that her relationship with Mr. Weldon has become more important than other things.
What? Anything further?
Oh, you said Ms. T's talked to you about the children not being harmed. Is it fair to say they're not harmed? There's not been any neglect? Because they spent since the separation, the majority of the time with you.
Yeah.
I mean, this has not been 50-50 since the time of the separation, has it?
No.
This guy,
heard her say 65-35. What percentage would you?
1 second. This is why a good lawyer is very, very important. And this father here he could have done more to make the mother of his children look a lot worse. I'm sure you could tell too that he wasn't trying to paint her in like the worst possible way, and maybe even softened her up a little bit. His attorney, though, understands what needs to happen in order for him to get what he actually wants. Just keep listening.
You put on there as far as you having the kids and now her being a mother.
I would say on a conservative side, maybe 75 on my end, but probably closer to 80, 85.
And again, you all had talked about 50-50, correct?
Yeah.
And when you say 75 to 85% with you, was that by any great declaration that you made?
No, it was because I didn't, at the time, up until now, I didn't have the power to keep the kids away from her. Anytime that I was given extra with them is because she gave them to me.
Your concern with your children now, I think you testified, was her using drugs and drinking. correct?
Yeah, in her relationship with Mr. Wilden.
And I think you testified your youngest or your middle child can't sleep. Which child couldn't sleep?
Our 2-year-old can't sleep at her house by himself anyway. He can sleep with his older brother, which he doesn't do. He's never done before, but that's what Lee has communicated to me.
Okay. And you said you lived in your house now how many years?
Like 2.5 years, something like that.
This is the only house he knows.
Oh yeah, he's 2 years old. So yeah, this is the house he's known.
And again, you're asking the court pending the final hearing to be the primary parent to kind of maintain the status quo now.
Absolutely.
Nothing further.
Recalls?
Just a couple, Your Honor. Would you say that it's normal behavior for a child to take a little bit to adjust when they move into a new residence? Is that reasonable?
Yeah, I think that mixed with the compounded on top of separation of parents and never being in school before is a lot for a little child.
And would you say that it's understandable that the kids might have spent more time with you in the last couple weeks because my client was moving into a new residence and working?
Yeah, but that's not the reason why she did it. She did it because she's going on trips or she had to work or...
But you don't actually know that. That's just what you're speculating.
Well, she did. I know for a fact on one Saturday, she went on an all-day trip with her boyfriend. And then obviously this last Saturday, she was on a weekend trip with him. But
that accounts for very minimal days out of the last 33. Is that accurate?
To my knowledge, I mean, most of the time she wouldn't tell me what she was doing.
Nothing further.
Thank you, sir. You may stand down. Ms. Holly, you may call your next witness.
That's approved, Judge.
You have rebuttal proof to offer?
No, Your Honor.
They're going to bring some employees up?
Your Honor, this case is a case of...
Come to the podium, please. It'll make it a little easier for me to hear you.
This case is just a divorce case of bruised egos. It has nothing to do with my parent being a bad mother or a neglectful mother. In fact, she's raised these kids for 8 years, almost by herself. As far as giggles and clams goes, we've heard proof today that she made an erroneous expenditure from the business account, the amount of $100, Your Honor. That is just not enough from counsel's perspective to take ownership of a business or the responsibilities of a business away from somebody when she has stated that she'll gladly put those funds back in. Mr. Valdez deliberately took $10,000 out of the account, requiring my client to go get a loan from a family member just to pay her employees. And so it's clear that Mr. Valdez does not know what he's doing as far as this business goes. And so that's why we're asking for the restraining order to be kept in place. She will happily account for all business expenditures and show proof. But she's been running it by herself since August of 2022. And to change things now might be catastrophic for the business. As far as a parenting plan goes, like I've said, 50-50 is more than reasonable. We want to maximize the children's time with both parents and not alienate them from either parent. My client will not do certain things that she's testified to any longer, and she'll make sure of that. But as far as the wine on a Monday night, she's not the only client that I have that does that still has full custody of their kids.
You have other clients that drink wine?
I do. But, Your Honor, we believe 50-50 to be more than fair. We're not trying to alienate Mr. Valdez from his kids. We just want my client to be entitled to her time with her kids as well. If Mr. Draper was put in a lineup, these kids wouldn't even be able to tell Your Honor who he is. So I don't think that Mr. Draper is the reason this court needs to hang its hat on not giving my client her fair share of custody. That's all.
Well, I have a little different view from the testimony that I heard, Judge. Ms. Valdez testified to was it was a fairly religious husband, wife, children, and, nice house, white picket fence type relationship. Mrs. Valdez has then taken that, and in a simple divorce action, you have issues with your spouse, you move out, you go get a motel room, maybe you get an apartment, you work toward your best interest of the children, and you do it that way. Mrs. Valdez moved out, as you heard testimony, left, went immediately and used marital funds to spend the night with her boyfriend and consummated that relationship on that night. Rather proud of it. Then over her somewhat testimony
Said rather proud of it. Yeah, she was.
of being scared to death of Mr. Valdez and not knowing how to handle that, goes back, stays with him for a week, and then enrolls the kids, in a school. Again, all preparing for this divorce. Mr. Valdez is trying to save his marriage at this point and trying to do anything possible for his wife and his children. Then Mrs. Valdez, admits today what's been going on is they drink 5-6 nights out of the week, 2 or 3 drinks a night. She's got a convicted felon, someone who's had a serious problem, having those kind of drinks while her children are spending the night. She's testified that and it goes directly to her credibility, using mushrooms, experimenting with that with Mr. Wilder, while he bought it and brought it into the home. She goes out and spends close to $4,000 for him to have a motorcycle. She goes out and spends $3,500 for a photo shoot. Still don't know what the purpose of that really was. And this is a photo shoot that was on the internet for everyone to see. Mr. Valdez has some valid concerns about her parenting abilities when he says other people can see this. Other people can tell other children, this is your mother. This court's well aware that, and you've heard enough cases where kids understand all of that, and all of a sudden it's a problem for that child. She's going through some sort of crisis that doesn't involve her children because she's left these children. Uncontroverted testimony of Mr. Valdez, he said 26 of 33 days with him. That's what's going on. You've heard him testify, it's been a 50-50 split for the most part anyway. And his entire life is spent with his marriage and his children. That's just not the case with Mrs. Valdez right now. That's a drastic turn. That's a 90 degree, 180 degree change as to how she functions. And I think there's something going on here. Either she's having some serious issues herself, maybe she likes bad boys, I don't know. But she's got other things on her mind than these children. I urge you to remember back to that tape where she came into the house. Mr. Valdez saw it and he testified. She didn't spend 2 seconds with her daughter.
Right.
Walked off in search of guns. I mean, that was her reason. Her daughter's trying to hug her and she walks off. She's just got something else on her mind rather than these kids. They're not the paramount decisions that she's going to be making in their best interest. Mr. Valdez, I think from his testimony today, there shouldn't be any question that he's rock solid with these children. These children deserve to be with somebody rock solid after what's been happening to them throughout this process. And the fact that she even thought it would be somewhat okay to have him sleeping in the same house with these children while they're conducting this type of activity. And I mean alcohol and drinking every night, and Lord knows what else. I mean, she admitted to the mushrooms, but again, we really request that so we can get down to the bottom of what's going on. Mr. Valdez will pay for it. It's like everything else with the motorcycle and the photo shoot and all the other monies that have been going out by Mrs. Valdez. It's still marital money, but I mean, he's willing to pay for it, and he'll take one. No problem at all. I think we've kind of agreed to the motion for exclusive possession of the marital residence, and we are asking for that. As far as the $10,000 goes, it wasn't about taking the $10,000 to go spend it or live on to take it away from her. As he testified, it's about spend this on your boyfriend and your midlife crisis or whatever you're going through. Don't be spending it on motorcycles for your boyfriend. Don't be spending it on photo shoots for your boyfriend, I'll say it. And don't be spending it on things that have absolutely no bearing on the children or anything else that you have been working for this entire time. Again, I think Mr. Valdez is a rock solid choice for these children. I think Your Honor has seen that today. We're asking for her to have a reasonable visitation. The $10,000, we're asking for an accounting, maybe a monthly accounting of what that's used for. Obviously, she's gotten the 5 back. She's gotten the other 5 back. We followed the order and got it returned. We just like to have some sort of accounting of what's going on. I think he is owed that. It wasn't about keeping the money from her. It's about how you're going to spend it. And if we could have some sort of accounting, we never got that and never got an agreement on that. You heard today that I wouldn't even hear there's no agreement on anything. we didn't have any sort of agreement to even get an accounting, and I've asked for this situation. But Mr. Valdez is begging you to let him be the primary parent over these children. Let her have some visitation with obviously no contact with her boyfriend, and let's get through this divorce. Let's get to a final hearing and see what you want to do, or see how she improves herself during that period of time. Because I submit to the court, I don't think today, with her testimony, especially the boyfriends, has been very impressive on being able to take care of children, small children. Thank you, Judge, for your time.
What's the verdict?
A couple of observations, and one is sometimes people who come, especially, and this is based upon my own experience and my own background, as well as my observation of people throughout my career as a lawyer and now as a judge.
Shout out to anybody who's made it this far.
It is sometimes surprising to one party of a marriage that the other party doesn't want to be married to them anymore, and that they've changed. Well, the problem is that people change, and what might have been important to this young lady at one point in her time may not be important to her at any point. It happens with people who are raised in a very religious background. As the old country expression is that they sometimes want to kick the traces. That has to do with a mule pulling a plow. But in any event, sometimes people want to kick the traces and get out of the regimen of their life and go on with it. So I don't have any problem with the fact that she wants to deviate from the closely held religious beliefs that Mr. Valdez may think that she's required to have or that would be appropriate for her. I don't have a problem with that. My only concern is about the decision process that is being made, and I'll address that in a moment. In deciding who is going to be the primary residential parent, I'm required to look at the factors that are set forth, even on a temporary basis, under 36.6.106 of the Tennessee Code. Those factors include the strength, nature, and stability of the child's relationship with each parent, including whether one parent has performed the majority of parenting responsibilities relating to the daily needs of the child. Clearly, the testimony of both of these parties was that Ms. Valdez was during their time they lived together, that she was the primary residential parent for these children, that she was the person who fulfilled most of those things. He was also involved, but she was the primary person who provided for that. Number two, that each parent's caregiver's past and potential for future performance of parenting responsibilities, including the willingness and ability of each of the parents and caregivers to facilitate and encourage a close, continuing parent-child relationship between the child and both of the child's parents, consistent with the best interest of the child. It does not appear to me that under the circumstances that either of them necessarily has failed to provide or fulfill their parenting responsibilities. But I have a real problem with someone who calls up, even when you found out that he had the $10,000 removed, calling up and threatening to make sure he never sees his children again is one of the things that is anathema to this court regarding children. You don't threaten another parent with never being able to see their child again.
There you go. There you go.
In order to gain an advantage in a lawsuit. It just simply is not appropriate. It's not done. That causes the court to find that factor favors Mr. Valdez simply because when you threaten to keep him from ever being able to see his children again, it does not indicate you're going to facilitate a close relationship between him and the children. I don't have any. Number three is refusal to attend a parenting class. I don't have that evidence before me because this is temporary. The disposition of each parent to provide the child with food, clothing, care, education, other necessary care. They both have apparently been doing that. There's not been any real exchange of money between them, but I think she was waiting to try to get herself set up. The degree to which each parent has been the primary caregiver is defined by the parent who's taken the greater responsibility of performing their parental responsibilities. Clearly, as I've said, she was the primary caregiver during the marriage. When she left and left the home for that period of time, Mr. Valdez, who had been involved previously as well, but not to the extent she was, he's assumed a greater responsibility for performing those parental responsibilities under the current status that we're in. The love, affection, emotional ties existing between each parent and the child, I think they both love their children, and I don't have any question about that. The emotional needs and developmental level of the child, I don't have anything to indicate that any of these children, one of them is a 2-year-old, and none of them are very old. I think there's an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old perhaps. but they're young children. Number 8, the moral, physical, mental, and emotional fitness of each parent as it relates to their ability to parent the child. As I said, I don't fault you for deciding, that you lived in a closely, a very confining religious background in the past, and one that envisioned that you were going to be the wife that took care of everything and did everything. I don't have a problem with the idea that you no longer want to do that. In today's society, unlike the Jewish society that existed at the time of the scriptures being written, women were in a different class. They're not there anymore. We're in a different world. So for that reason, I don't have a problem with it. My problem was just some of the decisions that you've made. For example, if you think your children don't know or won't figure out that you're having Mr. Wilding to be at your house overnight, you're just kidding yourself.
Come on. And he's softening the blows, right? Giving her, hey, you're a free, independent woman. You can leave your marriage. You're in a free world, even though you promised in your vows. Make sure you get a prenup. But hey, your kids are going to know what's going on. Stop playing with us.
Kids, as they grow older, are going to figure that out. Second thing is that your decision to use mushrooms, shrooms, or whatever you want to call them, something that is patently illegal as an experimental situation, is a regrettable decision on your part. More importantly, it is a criminal act. And although certainly we're not going to refer this for criminal prosecution, there's no reason to do that. It clearly shows that there's some either maturity lacking on your part, or a moral problem that prevents you from being able to recognize how wrong that really is when you're supposed to be parenting 3 young children. And I don't care whether they're legal or not legal in the city of Denver, Colorado, or anywhere else in the world. I think we're looking at the laws of the state of Tennessee. The child's interaction and interrelationship with siblings and other relatives and step-relatives and mentors don't have anything about that. The importance of continuity of the child's life, the length of time the child has lived in a stable, satisfactory environment, don't show that there's really, I think the children have been used to having both parents, and now they're suddenly in the middle of it. This is a temporary situation, so I don't really think that applies. Number 11, evidence of physical or emotional abuse to the child or children. I don't find any evidence of that. Number 12, the character and behavior of any other person who resides in or frequents the home of a parent and such person's interaction with the child. I'm all for someone who has turned their life around. I see it every day. I'll be seeing it the next 2 days when I have our hearing in criminal court regarding violations of probation. I credit anyone who goes through a process to try to straighten out their life. My idea of sobriety is not someone who goes through sobriety after having a lifetime of criminal activity and then suddenly decides they're sober but yet drinks 3 or 4 times a week or 4 or 5 times a week and 3 or 4 times a beer. No rehabilitation program, no sobriety program that I'm aware of ever condones the use of alcohol. It's just substituting one another.
Right.
And so for that reason, I think that it's obvious that Mr. Wilding has not really embraced the sobriety that he has testified to, and that in fact he's not an individual who is particularly embracing his sobriety to the extent that makes him an appropriate person to be around the children. His criminal history, there's no or anything in it. They're all, but the fact that he has a history of drug convictions and is now using mushrooms, and stated rather cavalierly that he was prepared to use them again if that situation presented itself.
Right.
Indicates to the court that he is a person who has not fully embraced the idea that he could go back to prison for possession of mushrooms, and has testified under oath in a proceeding that he did in fact do that. Right. If he was on probation, he'd be looking at going back to prison immediately on a violation of probation. So that is a factor that clearly concerns the court. Don't have anything else about the employment schedule. I think both of them can make advantages of the schedule. They can make it work. Any other factor deemed relevant by the court. So what we have here is a situation where 2 people are just now going through. I don't care whether you have this boudoir photographs made. I do think that it does create some issues you might want to think about as far as publishing those on the internet. But as far as this court is concerned, that's your life. You can do with it what you want. He can't control you anymore to do those things. If that's what you want to do, then you have at it. I'm just simply saying that you've got to consider your children from that perspective as well. And maybe years before that ever comes to their knowledge, but nothing that I saw on that demonstration that was given was anything that would be so severe that would traumatize the children, but perhaps I'm different than the children. Possession of the marital residence will be granted on a temporary basis exclusively to Mr. Valdez. Operation and control of the business will be granted to Mrs. Valdez because she is the person primarily responsible for running the business. I think he's had very limited control or whatever. As far as me setting aside Judge Lockhart Mash's order, I am not prepared to do that. I don't think it is appropriate for me to go behind her restraining order. And he has returned the extra $5,000. However, she will be held accountable for the operation of the business, and he will be entitled to have access through his attorney to any financial records that might be during the discovery process to determine how she's operating the business. I'm going to say some things that you're not going to like, and you just need to understand. And certainly Mr. Welding is not going to like them. He doesn't have any business being around these children.
Come on now.
Right? So he is prohibited from having contact with your children, from spending the night in your home when these children are present, period, exclamation point. Once you're divorced, that's a different matter. But right now you're in the middle of a divorce. And so for that reason, I'm limiting and prohibiting that contact. I've given you the reasons why I feel that that's not appropriate. But in addition to that, he'll have no interaction or no input or any involvement in the operation of this business. It's a jointly owned business between you and Mr. Valdez. You're going to operate it. You do it. He can give you advice if he wants to, but he's not going to be involved in it, period. You know?
All right. Sounds like somebody's getting fired and losing their referrals.
Understand that. Then lastly, I'm going to order that you not make any more loans to Mr. Valdez. You don't give him any more funds. Every dollar that you have, theoretically, and every debt that you incur are considered, as long as you're married, to be marital debts and marital funds. So you cannot, I'm just prohibiting you from giving away to him or anyone else.
Stop tricking on the felon.
Marital funds. So you're not, I'm basically saying you've got to use that money for your children and for yourself and for the business, but you can't give it away for anything else. And that includes incurring another debt to give money to anything else. So that, in my opinion, takes care of the business. So it really comes down to who's going to be the primary residential parent. Based upon this court's observation and determination, I find that Mr. Valdez should be the temporary primary residential parent.
Let's go.
That is really just a jurisdictional designation.
Right.
At this point, I'm going to set an equal residential schedule. I asked him the question about your parenting, about what concerns he had about it. And Mr. Welding is the only concern he had. Otherwise, he thought you were a good mother, the person you used to be. Well, we're going to establish a track record for you. You're going to have the children. We're going to just alternate weeks. Now, the two of you can agree on anything else, but you alternate weeks in between. You can exchange on Fridays, and if you all make up a different arrangement, so be it. But I intend for you to both have equal time. Why am I doing that? Because your children are my concern. They're missing their mother. They're with their father. You're going to each have an opportunity to establish a track record on how you deal with these children and how you deal with each other. Trust me when I tell you that if you come back in front of me and I hear another recording of you threatening him and cursing and so forth, you're likely to lose the equal residential schedule and go to something much more restricted. I don't want to do that because your children want to be with you. But I'm giving you the opportunity to do that, giving you the opportunity. If you want to be with him, that's your choice, Mr. Wilding, but you can do it when the children aren't present. And then I've given you the other restrictions. As far as when the children are with you, There will be no consumption of alcohol in your house, period.
Let's go.
It's not that I'm opposed to it. I think the Bible is full of examples of alcohol being involved in it. That's my personal belief. May not square with everybody else's, but I believe there's no prohibition. What is prohibited are the extremes: gluttony, alcoholism, being given a strong drink. Those things are what the Bible says you shouldn't do. Not that I'm preaching, but since your background is such, I think that's what you need to think about. So I'm not restraining her from consuming alcohol. I'm just simply saying don't do it when the kids are around on a temporary basis. Once we get through this divorce, if you decide you want to do it, then you may have to do it with some restraint. But having every night of the week, 2 or 3 drinks is not a moderate consumption of alcohol. When you get to be my age, you look at these articles about how bad it is for you to have that frequently of an alcoholic drink, and it can carry a long-standing effect. I am not going to order a test at this point because she has admitted from the stand that she has used the mushrooms. That was a part of the basis that I gave for it, for my ruling. But obviously it goes without saying you're prohibited from consuming any sort of illegal narcotics, herbs, or anything else that might be considered to be illegal.
Surprised he doesn't want to do any more tests. She sounded like am I tripping?
Child support will be calculated between the two of them. Parties will exchange the information regarding their respective incomes and calculate the days at 50-50 right now, and go from that. Mr. Valdez, I question you about what you thought of her, because she's never going to be the woman that you thought you married anymore. She's no longer going to be that person. Doesn't make her a bad person. It just means she's going to be independent. She's not going to listen to you. But there will be no arguing, no fussing, no fighting between the two of you.
Okay. We got what we came to hear. It does make her a bad person for continuing to cheat and the way she went about it, if you ask me. Now, can she change? Of course. But in this moment, it is what it is. As I was going to check out some of these comments, what the people have to say. Top comment here says the husband should consider himself very lucky to not have this woman in his life anymore. Very true. Very true. Somebody added to that comment and said, yeah, but it's hard when you think you've been successful in creating a wonderful traditional family environment for your kids, then poof, it's gone. You're all over the internet like Jerry Springer candidates, and you're wondering how it went from that to this. Another comment here says, I love how his lawyer keeps mispronouncing the best friend's name and she keeps correcting him. That's funny. And this person says, it's on purpose, and she keeps falling for it. On that last comment of like, yes, but it's hard from going to things working out and things not. We're all susceptible to life changing in an instant, especially when it comes to something like marriage. Everybody, nobody's special, right? That's part of the risk of marriage in our modern day, especially today. Another comment here says she chose a felon over her children. Very obviously so. Somebody else here says, no, she chose herself and her own fun. What? Nah. Another person here added, let's see. In my view, this woman is a released prisoner's dream. He struck gold. Now all he has to do is put everything in his name and kick her out. Somebody else here added to that and says, LOL, they could have been on life after lockup. Classic ex-con leeching into a naive, silly woman. Somebody else here added, I'm convinced his lawyer keeps saying Wilden just to piss her off. And this person responded back and says, I think it's because he was Wilden with the plaintiff's wife. LOL. Somebody else here says, Wilden. Right. Another person here says, we drink every night like any grown adult. Excuse me, lady. Rational and real grown adults don't drink every night. Yeah. Here's another person who says she felt so scared of her husband that she fell into the arms of a convicted felon. What a piece of work. That's one of the points I made right off the bat. Somebody else here says, just wait. She met him in July and moved out August 5th. She didn't move out for her safety. She moved out for her boyfriend willingly. Nobody kicked her out. She literally left her husband and her children for a man she was known for 3 weeks. Something is seriously wrong with her. I hope Dad gets full custody of those kids. Give mom every other weekend. She made her choices. Let her live with them. I personally, and you guys can leave your thoughts down below, I personally think there's no way she's going to respect this agreement, the temporary agreement. It's not going to happen. She's going to mess up some way, somehow. That's what I think. Maybe there is an updated video. We'll see. Curious to know. What do you think? Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link into the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.